feel like the movies, I feel like the movies. Are we all in the movie? Are we all in the movie? Wake up in the morning, ask, is this real? Never trust the senses, fuck what I feel.
But I ain't never fucked a bitch that like had hairy armpits though. I remember there was this one girl that did not shave her legs, and like thankfully she was still cute though, because like she had like them little baby hairs. It wasn't like she was blonde, so you couldn't really see it too much. But like
had them translucent leg hairs.
Yeah, but like still.
Harry Potter.
Like Wolfman.
Oh, I get it now. Like Harry. I get it. I'm like, why is this person randomly saying Harry Potter? And I get it now.
That's why.
I was so confused. I'm like, why is he randomly saying Harry Potter?
Yo, have you checked out Hell's Paradise yet?
No.
Oh, you need to check out Hell's Paradise, man. It's an anime that just came out by Mappa.
It's on.
So you know, Mappa's the one that does Attack on Titan now. They do Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man. Fucking they got a couple good ones under their belt. Vinland season 2. Fucking but Hell's Paradise is off the fucking chain. Like it's one of those. I watched the first episode and I think I must have watched it like while I was like half asleep because I didn't really get hooked onto it. But then when I came back and finished it and watched the second episode, I was like, oh no, sold. I want 24 episodes of this. Like, give it to me. Where's it at? Like, how long? Like, fuck, I gotta wait another week. It just can't. The new one just dropped today. I was like, as soon as I saw it drop, started watching that shit. I was like, oh, this shit is really good. Like,
Wait, are we doing freestyle? We're doing freestyle anyway, right?
yeah, we're doing freestyle first.
Alright.
And then afterwards, then roll into the
Tell us
topics.
up.
We only got like maybe 10 or 11 topics. And some of them are going to be like quick breezes, like the Quidditch shit. You know, so it won't take too long. The long ones are going to be like the videos, like the Tucker Carlson one. It's a good video. Fucking. Bro, I think the real reason Tucker Carlson got fired is because he's doing a lot of alternative media appearances, like podcasts and shit like that. And he's saying some stuff on the podcast that
it's controversial.
Yeah.
Man, it's possible. They did a bunch of controversial shit up to this point, and they didn't fire him. So I don't know.
Well, think about it. Like if you're hired by Fox to play a certain character every day and say certain things and to play this role, but then you do alternative media and you're just like a different form of yourself that appeals to other audiences and shit, they may not really care for that, especially if they need you to be who they need you to be on TV. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like,
you get to play your role and shut the up, not be a little, disruptionist or whatever.
But good start. Highly offensive. Wait, let me start over. 'Cause I was never say new highly offensive first. Like I'm so used to saying highly offensive that like
forgot to throw the new in there.
Yeah. Fucking.
New highly offensive.
New highly offensive. Episode 14. Fucking. We gotta get it in. I can't believe it's only 14 episodes. It feels like so many more.
Yeah, it does feel like a lot more than that, but 14 is a good number. That's a lot of numbers. It's a lot of episodes. We're in there deep. 14
shit, the other day I was listening to Joe Budden. They were like on the 620s and shit. I'm like, God damn.
Joe Rogan's on like 1,000, some crazy number.
Yeah.
1,800, some shit like that. Like he's done a lot of. I think he's done one every day.
I'll be so worried. I'm like, man, I was like, we gotta do so much better quality content to make up for the lack of pushing this shit out. Cause some of the motherfuckers, and they're good at it too. Even for example, like Theo Von. What I love about Theo Von,
he's funny as fuck.
Yeah, he's funny as fuck. But he could do a solo podcast by himself and fucking kill it. Mm-hmm. Like I can't.
It's an interesting character.
I can't imagine that. Just like me by myself, just no one to like fucking check me.
Bounce.
And like when I'm going too far off the rails, or
He probably writes it down. That's my assumption. He writes it down and gets it prepared that way.
I don't think so. I like from he because one of the things that's brilliant about his comedy is that it sounds so off the cuff, like
he's randomly thinking of it.
yeah, like, and I'm just like, how did you put those two together? I was like, but it makes sense, like the way you said that, like yeah.
That's why
like,
he has to have some type of structure for it to like click in that way, the way he does it. Even though it's off the cuff, he's still doing like shit that connects, and that doesn't happen by chance. Like he's not just freestyling off of the top
I think
of his
he's
head.
I still think he's freestyling, but I just think he's that good at like what he does, that like I don't know if it's like because when you know he was like on MTV, he was doing like a lot of different other shit besides stand-up comedy.
Mm-hmm.
So like once he gets into the stand-up comedy, you know, sphere, and then starts doing these Joe Rogan appearances, he blows up, gets crazy huge.
Mm-hmm.
Like people started like fucking with him, but like even like on his if you watch him on podcast appearances, it's this he's funnier in his podcast appearances, I think, than in his stand-up. Because
I mean,
like,
he's just in his authentic self. He's pretty funny.
he's just how he is, how his brain is able to work. I think Joe Budden's the same kind of way. Like Joe Budden, sometimes he says some shit that sounds so crazy but makes perfect fucking sense, and you're just like, where did he come up with that shit? You know what I'm saying? Like that is he does have a sense of genius, like that comes to him. I aspire to have that same type of genius. You know what I mean? Like, and I think there's a part of me that maybe does. Like, maybe I'm not like on the same level as the GOATs. You know, like the Theo Vons, the Joe Buddens, the Joe Rogans, and all that other shit. But like maybe like I'm like, you know, like great value Joe Budden. You know what I mean? Like,
It's like discount brand Joe Budden. It's like the shelf.
like, but and not to compare myself to like Joe Budden or something like that, because I mean, with the kind of shit I say, I know he would not want to be attached to my name and shit like that. So let me like create that separation there. But you know what I mean? Like, it's dope because you reach people that, you know, like through podcasting that you would never reach in real life. Like, and when you're able to tell these stories and you're able to make these jokes, like you help people sometimes. Like sometimes people be having a really fucked up ass day, yo, and like they will hear you talk about some shit that they might be currently going through and like be like, damn, yo, I didn't even think about shit like that, or like, yeah, no, that shit hurts, but it is kind of funny when you look at it from like an outside perspective. Like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes it helps you like really get through some shit, and I will always have a love for podcasting for that. You know, so for me, I always like, you know, I always come into it like trying to create the best brand that I can for myself and for us. You know, I sometimes I say some wild shit givingly, you know what I mean? It's highly offensive, you know what I mean? Like I've always been that for 100 and some episodes now, even in the previous form of what I was doing. But, you know, one thing that I always tried to do though is I tried to present it in a way that like it could resonate with people, and if maybe like you don't agree with me, maybe I might make you laugh, or maybe like I'll make you like think about some shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I've always said, you know what I mean, like I'm not a role model. I'm not here to be anybody's role model. I don't want anybody to see me and aspire to be anything like me, because you know, my journey is my own, my experiences are my own, and my mistakes are my own. You know what I mean? And I don't want people to go through the same mistakes that I've gone through. You know what I mean? Like, but tell me about yourself. Like, what do you like about, you know, even podcasting? Like you know, now you're 14 episodes in. This isn't something that like maybe you had foreseen doing. Like when we had I know we had talked about it, you know, a couple times prior to actually getting around to doing it. But now that you've actually, you know, done a couple episodes, You know, you've seen the process that goes into it, the clips, the putting on social media, getting the people's reaction, the just the satisfaction maybe, and the frustrations that come with podcasting. Like, I mean, what do you tell me? What?
I mean, I think it's an interesting format. It's definitely the way that people are going to for like information. So it's cool to be a part of that. You know, give information to people and like discuss things that they maybe think about but don't talk about like openly because they're scared or whatever. But we're not scared to be offensive or direct about how we feel. And I think that the world is missing the directness, you know, that used to be a thing. You know, it's just not a thing anymore. Anybody that's too direct is like abrasive or you can't handle it or you don't like how they're upfront. But I'd rather that abrasiveness as opposed to the bullshit, you know. But you're also, you know, you feel away, but you're like softening the blow, but you're still hitting that person. It's just like, oh, that's the kinder way, so that's the better way. But I feel like, you know, it's better to be brash and upfront than be sugarcoating shit and then making it seem as if it's better than it is, you know. So the world's missing that. So I think it's cool to be a part of that and do that.
Well, I mean, I know that it's definitely enjoying, and it's a rewarding experience as you go through it. I know, like myself, speaking for myself, sometimes perhaps like it doesn't give me like maybe the instant gratification that I wish it would. You know what I mean? Because like for me, like this is something that like I've dreamed about for some time, and something that like it's personal and desperate for me. Like it's like, you know, kind of like it's a bad comparison given, but like, you know how like women, like once they reach us, I'm gonna sound like Donovan, but they reach a certain age, like
damn,
they reach their prime. Yeah, I mean, they can't have babies.
Yeah, they gonna cancel and fire your ass.
You're cancel and fire our own podcast.
I never had a job to begin with.
What are you doing?
No, but like for me, that's how I feel. Like you know, like even like we off cam, we had a conversation.
He's reaching a certain age where he feels like he needs to hit the bricks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like for example, we were talking about the other day about how you were saying you don't wait too long until, you know, Isaiah has like another sibling, you know, because you're already at a certain age.
You know.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you feel like that countdown ticking. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I feel. Like I
with
feel
the podcast.
Yes, but not because of the podcast itself, but on a personal level. Like I feel like as a guy, like my countdown is ticking, and it's like I feel like I should have been here. I'm here. And for me to get here where I want to be at, there's only so much time and so much fucking, so much potential to even be able to reach that. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, like to get your shit going, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to dump a lot of money into that shit. Like, a lot of money goes into to get the views, to get the attention, to get it out there, you know what I'm saying? Like, promoting it and all this other shit. I don't have that kind of capital to just drop into, you know, I drop on that money. Like I just promoted the clip about the U.S. going on strike in the hopes that it would resonate with people. You know what I mean? Like over 500 people agreed. So, you know what I mean? I'm glad I got it out there. You know what I mean? But like, there's this desperation from me where it's like, I feel like I want a kid. I don't have one, and the reason I never wanted a kid was because I felt like, fuck, I grew up poor. I know what growing up poor feels like. I don't want my kid to suffer that in a social media environment.
A modest life is a bad life.
Poor,
you make it sound
my nigga.
like we had no roof over our heads.
It's not like
we had no food to eat. You're saying like the extra stuff, like the
Do you not remember the burgundy pants?
No,
that's
what I'm
fucking
saying, but when you
the
say
Shaq sneakers that we got from Goodwill. That I got from Goodwill.
No, but I also remember like what mom had to work to get us clothes, to get us book bags, to get us stuff for school, to get us food on our table. Like, I know what mom had to work, and I remember those crazy
and I admire
hours.
her for it. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to spit
But
in the sacrifice of what she did.
We weren't poor though.
But I'm saying in comparison to our peers, like, and how, and we talked about it, like niggas roasting you for how you look like at school, fucking what, like, nigga,
definitely getting roast posties.
You know what I'm saying? I know what I would.
You wore that shit last year.
I would never want my child to experience that shit. So for me, like,
but I don't know.
Like,
I feel like it's almost impossible to avoid all conflict, issues, problems for your offspring. Like, they're gonna have something.
Oh,
you can want the best for them.
You should want them to struggle to some degree.
I mean, like,
for character building.
It's just everybody has that ideology, especially before they have kids, that they're gonna have this idealistic, like, future for them. When in reality, almost no one gets to that level of performance planning, if you will, like, where you're like, hey, I'm gonna strive for this person to have the quality best of everything possible. Because you would have to ascertain that first, or achieve that first, to even begin to do that. You know what I'm saying? Most people don't get there. You know, they get there over time, but it's not a set destination, or it's just you gradually continue working at what you want to achieve, and you get there. But like, kids are almost always like not planned. Like, they even call Planned Parenthood, but it's not about Planned Parenting at all. But you know what I'm saying? No one plans that shit. It's just either happens or it doesn't. Some people do plan it through like IVF and shit, and then they have a kid and they have that idealistic lifestyle, but then their kid grows up fucked up and it didn't matter anyway. So my whole point is, like, you can plan all you fucking want. Like, life and God or whatever is gonna give you whatever the fuck you get, bitch. Like, it could be anything. You can have the most perfect life and have everything, and then still somehow just crumble your life in this shambles, and your parents, of all those people, all those fucking serial killers, those fucking child molesters, rapists, all those people probably had like the most idealistic life plan for their kid. Like, this is what's gonna happen for you. Not all of them had fucked up stories. Like, I think Ted Bundy, he had a fucked up story, but like, other people didn't have fucked up stories, and they did fucked up things. Like, people be peopling, man. Like, I don't think you can plan. And that's my
people
point.
Are complex in that, but at least for me, like, there's been like women. I don't think have this pressure, but for men, I think we do. Where it's like money equates status as a man, like, and lack thereof makes you less of a man.
It's they do, but in different ways. They have social pressures for other things. So like, where they are in life, based on their age and how they look and makeup and hairstyles and outfits, and like, it's still money, but it might be money in different ways. But they still need money to be. They still need the same things we need, nigga. Like, it's the whole male female like ideology, the way the world's set up. They still need to give rent the same amounts due the same day. Like, all that shit don't matter.
Get into is, like, for example, right? Like, I'm old school, so for me, like, I feel like if I'm in a relationship, like, and especially if like we're married and she's the mother of my child, like, I want her to be a housewife. I want her to take care of the child and not have to work. Now, of course, if she has her own dreams, like, that she wants to pursue, you know what I mean? Like, that's a whole different thing. But like, if she wanted to just sit there and raise a kid, like that, I want that to be an option for her. Now in America, it's almost always 2 income households now, like, because of how expensive everything has gotten. And even though, like, I know that it's not my fault that the world's gotten that expensive and everything, though, it's still that pressure of like, well, if you still don't make this amount, though, like, you're not worthy of these things. You're not worthy of, you know, like, these women will let you know you are not worthy of us. Like, yeah. And I mean, of course, there are women out there that are not material. Not to say that all women are materialistic and money grabbing and all this other shit. Please do not take it that way. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, on at least on the social media aspect of it in life, like, they will let you know, oh, what, you broke? Like, you can't afford these bags, or you can't, you know what I mean? Like, take me to fucking Aruba like twice
Which is
a year.
crazy
Like,
that
like,
people that are broke are calling people broke for not buying them shit. Like that shit is like
And
it
that's
never
what-
made sense to me. I'm like,
that's
oh
what I
nigga,
said,
you
like-
broke, you can't buy me this $50,000. Like, can't you
it's
buy
fucked-
that
it's
bag
fucked
for
up
yourself
that
though? Like
money and women aren't in like
a certain woman, like, but that's my thing.
But
Like,
I'm saying like that women aren't judged by money. You know what I'm saying? Men
I
are
mean,
judged by money.
they can
But-
be, yeah, like they are at certain points. It depends, different levels, I guess. Women can shoot up, but men can't shoot up. I
That's
guess
what
is
I mean,
that
is
what
like
you're
a
saying?
broke
So
bitch, like,
a broke dude can't be like,
and some
"Hey,
Jordan
chick, I know
nines.
you're a millionaire, but like you're gonna love this dick. Like you're gonna get with me. It doesn't matter that I only make $14.50 an hour.
Yeah,
like
that was so specific,
you know,
too. Like,
it's very
I know
specific.
exactly
I don't
what I'm talking about, too.
but you can't shoot up. But a
But-
woman could shoot up if she was like pretty enough or had
Bro,
enough
you
charisma.
gotta be pretty enough. She can have just a fat ass and a butter face, and this bitch is
I mean,
Jordan Nines is gonna sit there and talk shit on the motherfucker and be like, "You ain't shit." And
That was very specific. Jordan Nines. There are many Jordans, but he's picked those ones. So it's like Jordan Nine. You Jordan Nine,
I'm
bitch.
talking about a very specific bitch.
You know
right
you
now.
are. You Jordan Nine, bitch. You out there
But
shooting up. You're not shooting down.
these bitches in Jordan 9s will fucking
What color are they? What was the colorway?
black with the red and white.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just making sure.
But,
Black with the red and whites. Got you.
like for example, like dudes are
Raging Bull. No, not the Raging Bulls. They're not
like
Raging Bulls.
a broke dude can never have the audacity of talking that kind of shit.
I mean,
Like, unless he had like a fucking monster cock to fucking
I mean, he's
back
gonna
it
have to
up.
look like a bronze Jesus. I don't know, something like that. Like
You
you
know what I'm
know,
saying? But like broke, like imagine just like an average broke dude, like an
But
average looking
but
broke
the
dude.
same thing goes for a female. If there's an average female, there's a good looking person, good job, it'll be the same shit. Yes.
No.
You know why? Because dudes are simps. So like the
but
ugly
I've
dudes-
never in my life seen a rich woman go for a broke dude.
No, but I'm saying it's but it's reversed
No, I
as
have
well
that once.
though.
Jeff Bezos' ex-wife.
What?
She married a broke dude. Well, not a broke dude, but she married a teacher. So I mean, like,
But I'm
Then
saying
she married up after, right?
I mean, they got divorced, I think. But
And she kept half his money. He's a billionaire. She married up, nigga. Like she didn't have billions.
But
She
what
was
if the
rich.
female's broke? What if the female's not as attractive? Like it'll be the same.
When? No.
no, it's not.
No, it's almost
Because
never
dudes
that way.
are
Like
simps.
dudes
be-
go for girls regardless of what they make or bring in. They don't care.
They just want pussy.
They go for like
So they
looks
go-
or
they blow the
personality or
bitch head
something,
up
but like a girl
get the
is like,
box.
or a woman generally like wants security or safety or something, and with certain people that make a certain amount or whatever, they go for that and they're like, oh, they like this. Not every woman's like this, obviously, but like generally the world is like that. If a girl got with some guy and she's like, yeah, dad, he fucking flips signs at Boost Mobile making $10 an hour. I know he's gonna be a winner one day. Her dad's gonna be like, leave that broke nigga on the corner. He can't do nothing for you because he can't do nothing for himself. But a guy wouldn't even, you know, like you go to their parents, they're not gonna ask what does she do for work. Like they don't even. They're not asking. They're like, is he a good person? They'll ask about moral character, but they won't ask about their employment. Like for the most part.
You see it with TikTok. There are plenty of mid chicks with banging ass bodies who are blowing up because of the dudes in their
Mid
comment
chicks.
section.
Nah.
And I'm not mad at it, right? My perfect example of one is because there's one that's one of my favorite ones. Izzy Green. Shout out to Izzy Green. If you watch this, baby, I would fuck the shit out of you. I know I am not worthy, but I would fuck the shit out of you. Anyways, right? This Izzy Green girl. She's beautiful. Maybe like not like the most beautiful girl on earth.
Didn't you
know
just
what
call
I'm saying?
her mid though?
No, I didn't say she. I was saying about other girls on TikTok. that,
Okay.
like for example,
Izzy, you are exempt for this conversation.
yes,
but
you are not mid, baby. Not at all. Like, but
this thing is like
the girls that I was talking about was like
those other mid bitches.
yeah, the mid bitches. I just didn't want to name them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because then in case I post this as a clip, then it's gonna be like
Yeah,
shit on
yeah.
these women.
Yeah.
And that's not the intention.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, cause I'm not mad at the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I'm not mad at the players. I'm mad at the game.
It's like don't change the
Yeah, I'm
algorithm. Just
But like for example, like this Izzy Green chick, right? She she posts thirst trap content on TikTok, and she through that following, she created her own OnlyFans.
Mm-hmm.
That shit blew up. Fucking, she's buying her first house. She's 20 years old, if that. Beautiful as fuck, and buying her first house from all the earnings that she makes off of that shit. Like, congrats.
Yeah, I couldn't just wake up one day and spread my dick and be like, yeah, I'm gonna buy a house in like a couple months.
Like,
that generally would happen.
I wouldn't have a chance unless my name was Trump. My last name was Trump. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would never have a chance to have the money making ability that this chick has.
Let's just be real. Girls are not subscribing to OnlyFans. This must be what it is.
It's who? Simp ass niggas. And for example, I'm not mad at it. You know what I'm saying?
They're the like ugly niggas with the money.
If I was Izzy Green, I would be doing exactly that. Like if the comparative is to work at a fucking fast food restaurant or fucking be a bartender or a stripper or fucking a fucking RN, like you best believe I'm fucking getting an OnlyFans and I'm buying me a house at 20.
Yeah.
Like it's just what it is.
Yep.
So
and they can say whatever the fuck they want about her. But she got that money though. That's all that matters.
I can't hate on that.
But I bet you Izzy Green ain't going for no broke ass nigga at all. If she tries to bring this dishwasher home, her dad's gonna be like, "Get that nigga the fuck out of here."
If my mom try to holler at her, she'd be like,
"I got an OnlyFans. I bought a house already. I'm 20 years old."
She would see my car. You know what I mean? Like no. You know what I mean? Like, and it is what it is. Like I'm not mad at it. That's why for me the only thing is I gotta level up. I gotta take that path that puts me on a position where I ain't nobody looking down on me like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but not because I'm trying to cuff up like an Izzy Green or something like that, because that wouldn't work long term. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But like, I just don't ever want to be put in a position where like a female is looking down on me, like based off some financial shit. Yeah. Like I've had arguments with women about money. It don't feel good. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like when your girl wants to ball out and you ain't got it like that, and she like, nah, nigga, I want to do this. Like, and you like, yo, but I mean, we gotta pay bills. We gotta do. Nah, but it's me time right now. It's me, and you like, yo, come on, man, like, chill. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes they ain't trying to hear that shit. You know what I mean? Like, so. And I'm not, and again, that's why I say like the worth and being attached to males and to having that money is because that pressure is there. Like I was, seeing like even like other women just like on podcasting talking about like how they trying to run your pockets. You know what I'm saying? Like and they're like, yo, I can have feelings for you, but I can still want to get in your pockets. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like,
it depends on the person. I guess it's not everybody, but definitely.
It's definitely not everybody.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that, like, there are. So, for example, right? Are you gonna like date a girl that isn't, getting simped over, just so that you're not dealing with the bullshit that comes with dealing with a girl who warrants being simped over?
I mean, I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I think everybody, I don't know. Girls get simped over generally in the public, period. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. Like, for instance, you be at work and say that you're mopping a floor versus a female employee mopping the floor. If you mop a floor, people will walk on that floor, look you directly in the eyes as the water's drying as a man and not give two fucking shits. Not even be like, yo, if you're missing the wet floor sign, they'll be like, you forgot the wet floor sign. If you're a girl mopping a floor, they'll be like, oh, I'm sorry, sweetheart, my bad, I just gotta go to the bathroom, my fault. Same thing when they like say good morning and goodbye. Like, it's just, that's the way culture is. Yeah. So, it's not surprising.
No, like, it's just, it sucks because, you have these milestones that you almost have to reach by the time you reach a certain age. And it's like, if you don't reach these milestones, like, you ain't shit. And even if, like I said, like, it's not my fault that the world is what it is, like I still have this overbearing pressure and need to be somebody to make this money. Like there's times like even like I feel like ashamed like because I'm the oldest and like when my mom she was so proud of me when I joined the Navy. She was so fucking like I remember like the light in her eyes, like my son, like just going around just telling her friends like, yo, my son in the Navy, you know, doing big things, all this other shit. Like to like how she sees me now, like as a pothead, like and with all these flaws, like it hurts. Like it's like damn, because I'm not at a level where I was at. You know what I'm saying? So like you don't seem like to her I'm just on the down. Like she seen me at a high point and now it's just like, well, you kind of let me like I'm a disappointment or some shit. And maybe it's not how it is like in her eyes, you know what I mean? Like but it kind of feels like that. You know what I mean? Like because I was at such a high point, you know what I mean? Like where it's just like now I'm not at that. And it's just like I always like for example like my little brother, he is fucking like driven, like when like especially when for his family, like he is as driven as it gets, and I'm always proud of him. I'm happy that he's so successful. It was his birthday yesterday too. Happy birthday to my little bro.
Happy birthday.
You know, and sometimes like I'll be like, damn, man, even my little bro is more like, you know, is doing better than me. Like, and I'm never jealous. I'm always happy for his successes, but I always like, sometimes I'll feel like envious. Like, damn, I want that too, though. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just like, it's nobody's fault. You know what I mean? It's life. It's the way, you know what I mean? Everyone has their shake of it. Like, for example, like, I'm sure that my brother probably, like, hears some of my stories that I tell him, and he's like, damn, man, that sounds crazy. Like, that would never happen in my life. You know what I mean? Like, and stuff like that. But, like, it just sucks, like, and it's a capitalistic society. It's just the way it's built. But you know what I mean, like, especially because of relationships and how money plays in such a dynamic role into everything. Like, it just sucks to not be where you want to be at, and like, you know what I mean, like, especially when you want to have kids, you want to, you know, pass some shit off.
Shit's harder. Everything's harder. Everything's more expensive. The skilled jobs are harder to get. Like, it's all about relationships and who you know, and even when you get those jobs, like, you're not guaranteed them. Like, life is a really fucked up, complicated thing. But I mean, you know, you'll get there. You just gotta push to where you want to be at, and then you'll keep pushing. And then even when you get there, you realize that it's a continuous journey. That no one ever gets to where the fuck they want to go. They just always plan to go a certain way, and then they end up somewhat close. That whole, like, shoot for the moon, and, you know, shoot for the moon, land in the stars kind of shit. Like, you'll go that way if you go that way, but you got to keep going that way. And, like, everybody has that. Everybody has that. Like, nobody doesn't have it. Even the successful ones are like, man, I got all this money, but, like, I pushed myself so far away from my family, I don't have a family. Like, all right, so what the fuck is this money now? Like, yeah, I could send a bitch to come over here and sniff my butthole, but I can't get my kids to come and say hello to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so some things is not money driven, it's relationships. And like, when you realize, like, when you go that hole in the ground, like, none of that shit means anything, and everything's about relationships and friendships and family and experiences. It's not about money, because money doesn't equate to good life experiences always. It helps, and certainly.
I was talking to my old best friend the other day. Not current, because you're a piece of shit, nigga. You know what?
Damn.
But anyways, I was talking to him the other day, and we were talking about funerals, right? And I was telling him, like, you know, for my funeral, I want that shit to be packed. I want, like, thousands, hundreds of people, just that, like, of individual stories of, like, something that I did for them and why they sad that I'm gone. Like, I want bitches crying, fucking just, like,
you know, bitches fighting,
dramatic as fuck, just like
fighting each other,
trying to drag me out the casket and shit. Like, I want it all. Like,
I want to know.
because that's the life that I want to leave behind. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to leave behind an epic life that, like, will be told in tales, like, after I'm gone, and fucking, like, you know, to be a legend. Like, and I think, like, for example, like, the reason that my life turned out the way it did and all these other things is for stuff like that. I think God gave me, like, some self-deprecating humor, so I could just, like, laugh almost anything off, like, including some of the most fucked up trauma possible. But, like, for example, right, one time, like, I was in a podcast and I had made a joke about getting molested or something like that. Mm-hmm. And molestation jokes are almost never funny, you know what I'm saying? Like, unless you do them right, you know what I mean? But, like
the molestation, don't explain it like that. Terrible. Edit that out. Got that out.
I had said, I was like, something along the lines of, like, if people weren't, if you didn't get molested back in my day, then you was just ugly anyways. Like, nobody was trying to fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, some along the lines like that. Like, and it's a horrible joke. You know what I'm saying? But,
it was, like, highly offensive.
But it's just a way of dealing, like, with the trauma. Like, you just laugh it off. Like, and that's just an ability that, like, God gave me, where it's just like, you're gonna have a lot of these low points in life, but you're gonna be able to laugh about this shit later. You're gonna be able to get on the camera and, like, to broadcast to the whole fucking world some of the most wildest shit that you've experienced, and you're gonna laugh this shit off, like, and you're not gonna cry no more. And, like, that, and the ability of being able to do that is so rewarding, like, because, you know, like, there's a lot of experiences that, like I said, like, you know, us as men, we don't report, we don't talk about, we don't share, because we don't feel that there's a safe space for us to do so, and there really isn't a safe space for us to do so. Like, even this isn't a safe space, because people see it. We can have real ass conversations, people might see it and they're gonna have their own interpretation of it, and you can't control how somebody receives what you're saying. You know what I'm saying?
I got a question. What do you think about life? Do you think that it ends, that it's continuous forever, or that you can be, like, reborn? Like, do you think that you could ever, like, actually truly be gone? Or do you think it's like look who's talking? Like, you die and then you wake up like that.
No, I think
you die and then you wake up like that. Do you think it's like that?
You get judged. I think, like, you die and...
Well, I still think you get judged. No, but what if you get judged and you, like instead of coming back as a human being or something, you came back as, like, a lizard or some shit, like...
Nah, I don't think it works. I don't believe in reincarnation.
No?
Like, I mean, it would be nice, right? Because, like, for example, reincarnation gives you the benefit of you can fuck up and all your this life, but eventually you might get it right. You know what I'm saying? Like, in another life. But that kind of idea sucks, because then it doesn't allow you to really take fully the consequences of the life that you live now.
I mean, what if they turn you into, like, a cricket or some shit? Isn't that, like, a bad consequence? I wouldn't want to be no damn cricket outside. Cricket. I wouldn't want to do that shit.
Yeah, but that's almost like painless death. A fucking frog tongue just...
Yeah, they take you out, and you come back as, like, you know, depending on if you were a good cricket or not, you come back as a cockroach, a field mouse, like, something like that.
Nah.
Don't you look at, like, certain creatures and you look at them in the eyes and you almost feel as if they want to talk to you or say something to you, but you can't really understand? So, like, a dog, for instance, like, hey, it's man's best friend. You wouldn't think that some, like, racist dude would get reincarnated as, like, a snickerdoodle for a black family. I think it's totally possible. I think it's totally possible that you could come back as some other ish. Like, I do. I think that, like, if no energy can be created nor destroyed, that you got to come back as something or come back in some other way. Maybe not immediately. Maybe not in this lifetime. Maybe you come back, you know, 20,000 years from now from a whole nother subset, you know, born into some other kid, because it's very strange, the coincidental nature of our existence, that we would be here, all of us, like, a trillion of a chance of us ever even becoming to being, and then for us all to have our own individual experiences, for our irises to be shaped like the shapes of galaxies. Like, it's all just too goddamn coincidental for it just to be. and like from a coincidence, and then even further than that, it's just like where do we originate from? If we're really truly saying that in all scientific theory and in some ways religion, all of them line up and say that no matter what, you can't create anything truly, and you can't destroy it, because all the energy that's made within a given space or time or whatever that's it. Like, it's a set number. So nothing's really growing or going away. Like, it could die, but it like gets reformed to something else, like matter and planets and people. You go deceased, you go into the ground, and you come back out, spawn to something else. And I find it very strange, all the coincidences all together, that a kid could be born and exhibit traits from a grandparent, you know what I'm saying, that they've never met. And they're like, man, they laugh. That laugh was just like, your great-grandparent that you could have never met because they died, 10 years before you were born. Like, that kind of shit just seems like pieces of us, whether we're actually fully conscious of it or not, I think they perpetuate through time, and that they're no way to get rid of it. I think it's a continuous movement of things. But I don't think we ever truly die in the sense that we would think. Maybe our spirits die, and like pieces of us get left off in like DNA and to remaining family members or whatever. But I think like that energy, that essence, the personality, the jokes, the smiles, the fucking dimples, the iris, I think all of that shit is coded into DNA, and it can never truly go away. So
like for me, I think that like you said, because there's so many coincidences, right? Like, it tells me that that there is an importance in us being here. So like, for example, like for whatever reason, God allowed us to be here. However you see God, whether you see as like the monotheistic, like,
don't
Jewish
get me wrong,
God,
I'd be very mad if God hopped out and he was like this tall, and he was like, "What's up, fam?" And he was like, he looked like a cartoon character, like, the world would burn if God got out and he was 2'5" or some shit, and he was looking up at everybody like, yo. And then, like, exactly. You're like, nah, you just reject the idea automatically. But if he came down from the heavens in a chariot of fire with angels, you'd be like, this is why no one can describe God, because they can never say he was like this. Like, I can just lost for words.
My God got at least like 9 feet.
At least 9 feet.
Like,
they had some story about some African American aliens in a cigar-shaped like spaceship that landed with advanced weaponry. Then they had some other story about these Virginia UFO shits going on, like where they had like an interview with all these people, said this whole town said that these people landed, they were aliens, they had their bodies, somebody got infected, they died. It was fucking crazy, but like it's crazy to think. And then the alien life form, it had like a really strong ammonia smell, and that's our prediction on life, like in other places, that they could potentially be ammonia based. Just like I forgot where we're based, but basically like they could be born that way, and then like our environment could be toxic to them and vice versa. But whatever that guy came in contact with, it killed him, and he died.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think there's a lot of shit that we don't know.
Hell
like
yeah.
In this life and in the afterlife, and that we're just guessing.
Yeah.
And I think, like, for example, like based off like where your life ends, you put like your trajectory in life, where it puts you through, and the whatever religious ideals came into your life at a moment. Because, like, for example, like for some people, religion is like an escape from whatever their pain is. You know what I mean? Like what they're whatever they're going through. Now, for me, like religion is a parameter of rules for me to abide by and to like try to uphold. Like, for example, I know that I'm not a perfect human being. I know that I have all these flaws, and I'm willing to come on here and tell them. But at the same time, like for me, like the religion is like the guidebook that I'm taking the test for, and I'm saying like, oh shit, yeah, no, I got that wrong. Like maybe next time I'll take, I'll get a better grade. Like, it's something that I'm continuously at odds with because of my nature. And like I said, like I tend to have a self-destructive nature, but it's something that like it does heal and it does give you hope, and it does allow you to process the hell that can be life sometimes. Now, for other people, it can be an entirely different thing, and their relationship with their God can be entirely different. It's all based off your own individual experiences. I can only speak for like how my relationship with God and with my own religion. For me, it definitely feels like life is a one shot. And if I fuck it up, it's a really
Nigga,
bad consequence.
If you come back as a water bear, you're gonna be pissed off. Like a tardigrade, just on the International Space Station for like 8 hours. Like, God damn it, that was right. I'm a fucking tardigrade.
like
I'm a water bear.
I have such conviction in God that like I don't even think of like hypotheticals like that, like where I could possibly be wrong.
I mean, I don't know. I like to think.
I don't have the room to allow that like disbelief to creep in, because if I do, then it would allow like a room for me to become a worse version of myself if I stop believing in like
I feel you on that.
the consequences of my actions.
I just think you should be as open-minded as possible. I think God would want you to have that. If he gave you free will, he wouldn't want to put you in a box to make you think about only that. Not to say it's
yeah, definitely. But it just, I don't know.
unexpected. But speaking of unexpected, fucking Quidditch, Hogwarts Legacy. Like, what are they doing here? First, they don't have it in the game. They don't have it in the game. Oh, we're not gonna have Quidditch because what I'm saying, whatever fucking reason they had, and now they're gonna drop Quidditch as a DLC or a new game entirely. Is that what this? Is that what that's what this is? Fucking
yes. Essentially, they want to make a separate game that's gonna be just Quidditch type game. You know what I mean? So they know that motherfuckers is gonna want the Quidditch experience, so they're gonna pay for it. So and shit, I get it. Like, I want to play Hogwarts Legacy, and if they come out with a separate Quidditch game, like, fucking I'll probably.
And it's a full-fledged PC console game, Harry Potter Quidditch Champions. So yeah, they're double dipping in a way. I guess they probably think that one is a sports game and one is an RPG.
But I don't. What I don't get is why they couldn't have done both.
They could have, but then
Like,
they're gonna make that money, man. They're gonna double dip where they can. You know what I'm saying?
but they could have put a baby Quidditch like league.
They could have put something.
You know what I mean? Like, just
don't give us a broom and
no.
don't give us a broom and not actually give us Quidditch. It's fucked
You know
up.
what I mean? Like,
They blamed it on the professor in the game.
it's part of these companies now. Like, even Cyberpunk did it. You know what I mean? Like, with the new DLC pack.
Double back.
Yeah, like they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna give you 2 DLCs. Oh, never mind, we're only gonna give you 1 DLC, and you have to pay for it, and it's only new gen only. So it's like, goddamn. Well, why? Like, now that you like at first, like y'all came out with this botched game that nobody wanted. Then y'all dropped the anime for it. Everybody wants to play the game now, and then now y'all want to get elitist and fucking be like, oh no, well you can only get the game if you have the new gen, and if you pay for the DLC, and if you. It's like, yeah, we already paid for the game. Like,
Yeah, what happened? What happened to the games that used to come out that were full games? Like, it doesn't happen anymore. So, yeah.
that's why I loved Elden Ring, because Elden Ring had all the fucking side quests in the goddamn world, all the optional fucking bosses, and it was a huge game. It took you got to play it off rip, and it wasn't trying to incentivize you to pay. Oh, well, it was a legendary sword, but only if you pay 20 real dollars. You know what I mean? But it'll help you advance. You know what I mean? Like I hate it with 2K. Like with 2K, when they started doing the VC shit, like, it almost cheapens the process, because like for me, like I like playing as a rookie, stinking at first, getting better game by game, earning the right to then become a legend. You know what I'm saying? Versus just dropping some real life money off rip, maxing out my character's ability.
Yeah, they do that all the time.
That's what they're there for, to make money.
Yeah, I don't know, at least for me, it's just about enjoyability. At least with video games, that's what it always
As
should
a
be.
person who's buying the game, but as a person
consumer.
selling the game, No, my nigga. What matters is money. Wherever they can make money, they'll make it. It's not. They get people all the time.
Well, I know. I mean, it works, but it's just.
And they're doing their job properly.
Not necessarily because I mean, like, take a look at Elden Ring. Like, Elden Ring is one of the biggest successes of last year, and it's not a game that relied on microtransactions. It gave you a plane to go to. And on top of that,
You just said that in order to use certain weapons, you needed to pay real money.
no, I'm saying the opposite. It didn't do that.
Didn't you just say to use a sword?
I said they didn't make you pay like $20 for a legendary sword. You can find everything in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was a complete.
How long did it take you to do that though? Like,
it might take a while, but what I'm saying is it's a complete game with a free DLC coming out. It's not charging you anymore. It's saying, hey, a year later, here's more free shit. For thank you for purchasing the game. Here's another, update to the game. Like, that's fucking dope. And it's the top selling game last year. Like, if
whatever they're selling is making up for that.
Maybe,
but like, if more video game companies took that kind of care into their games and to making them like for the players, I think that it would change the experience and like
we just have to wait longer. I mean, because
Hey,
money's
I'm
a
okay
thing.
with that.
I mean, yeah, but sometimes they don't.
Are you though? Because you was nagging because you could play Harry Potter whenever they announced that they was gonna get it out, and then they said no, that they had to do some updates. You were complaining about it.
Harry Potter.
Yeah, I might gripe, but am I tweeting about it? Am I making videos about it? Fucking bitching about it? No, like, it's fine. It's gonna take another month. It is what it is.
Speaking of games that I don't want to wait for, this game Unrecorded looks fire as shit. Even though it gives me some PTSD vibes.
It gives me white man
shooting some brown civilian vibes.
Yeah,
it still looks like fucking awesome because it looks like a realistic ass game. Like, I was convinced this is a body camera and not like actually like, you know what I'm saying, like a video game. And then I saw the dude like chasing somebody. I was like, okay, that kind of looks like a video game. But like, it looked real as shit. And you call him like, the dispatcher. You got to chase the suspects.
Mm-hmm. And the crazy thing is that like your actions in the game like is gonna impact like what happens.
Yeah.
So it's like a real life situation, like when these cops have to go through, and you get to actually feel like what it would be like one of these cops out there.
Yeah.
So maybe, do you think that this game will make people humanize and sympathize with these cops that are out there killing black people? Like,
probably not.
Or do you think that like we're gonna play the game and be like, hey, no, you could have. I played the game. I know what it felt. I know exactly. I seen that move like too many times.
I feel like there's too much technology out in the world to have these kinds of fucking problems. Let's just be real. A cop could arguably get a fucking drone to do what it needs to do in a traffic stop to avoid pulling out guns and turning it into Wild West. Like, they don't have to. It's just the way that they do their shit. Like, they could have a drone that comes out of the middle of the car that gets charged, goes and greets the driver, gets their fucking ID, license, and all that. No one's in harm's way at all. You know what I'm saying? Get bulletproof windows, and that would eliminate that whole traffic stop bullshit. Like, if you saw something weary, you'd be like, all right, driver, get out the car, put your hand, all of that shit, the same things. And if they peel off, you could like shoot a little Apple AirTag at their car, follow them. Like, there are ways to mitigate risk and security factors when it comes to dealing with people or the public, and they're policing them. It's just that they're set up like the military, and they're the fucking police. They're not the military. So when they do shit like a military would, you're gonna have shit that happens in the military. Like, it's very simple. You do that shit in other countries, you're gonna have shit like this happen. People get scared in the military when they pull over like convoys of people, because that shit is mad dangerous. They can blow you up, IED could pop off, everybody fucking dead. So it's like, if you know that's the most risky thing that you're doing that could cause death on both sides, why not eliminate it if you can? We literally could be like, send a drone over there. Hey, sir, license and registration. He drives away. Same fucking result. Like, it doesn't matter. You don't have to do anything. No, don't do that, because then you might have some fucking chat GPT shit shooting fucking civilians from their house.
That could happen.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm trying to avoid the death.
No, but I'm saying in the sense that, like, maybe so like the cop themselves aren't armed to feel that fear, like have like the drone watching the person, and then if the person reaches, then the drone's like, hey, nah, I recorded, I seen him reach.
I mean, you could,
you know what I mean, like I had to shoot, you know what I mean, like versus.
but drones aren't humans. They don't have a robot have control over somebody's life that way because they could malfunction and shoot some kid or something. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. I get not wanting to do that. But as far as like making first contact, the part that like people get sketchy about, cops and civilians included, like why not make it something that's automated like a robot that couldn't hurt you? You couldn't really hurt it. If you hurt it, it doesn't have feelings, so it doesn't matter. It's even better than a canine, because the canine, you fucking kick a canine, you're going to jail like you kick a cop. Like, it doesn't matter.
I mean, I'm sure if you kick the drone, they're probably like...
I'm sure they'll charge you with, like, police property or something like that, but, like, either way, it's a piece of technology that's not being used, that we use for other shit, for, like, shooting fucking Super Bowl commercials, but we won't use it to, like, to have interactions with civilians so they don't end up getting fucking shot. Like, that would be the easiest way about it. Your little cops, the little scared ones that are trigger happy, can hide in their cars and then have these things be a mediary like thing, so it doesn't happen. Because in London, the reason, or in England, the reason why the civilians don't get shot is because the cops don't have the gun to shoot, and the civilians don't have the guns either. They have knives, so they have batons, and a cop might get stabbed, for instance, and the cop might beat his ass with a baton. But it's less likely that someone's gonna walk away losing their life.
You get stabbed for real.
You get shot for real. My whole point is like the reason why it doesn't happen. The cops aren't shooting people in the UK is because they don't have the guns to shoot them. The only people that have the guns, as far as cops, are like SWAT, specially trained people, and they don't have the issue we fucking have. So I'm saying, if you want to avoid that issue, just take it away altogether. You don't need it. It's not necessary. How many times do you absolutely have to stop the guy driving the car? You'd have to stop a guy driving a truck filled with drugs more than you would have to stop a guy driving a car. Unless the guy killed somebody, and then if he did, you could find a way to fucking track the guy down like we do now.
Maybe like they're afraid of, if they did that, it would turn like Chicago is right now. Like,
what do you mean?
Like Chicago, they did the whole defund the police, so the police.
No, I'm not. This would cost money. It wouldn't take away money. What I'm saying is their tactics are wrong.
If the cops aren't actively on the streets, like patrolling, trying to find.
No, I'm saying they should still do that. The part where they get out the fucking car is the part I have an issue with. Don't get out the car, shooting people. Get out, send something else out the car. You can stay in the car. You could be driving the drone around your goddamn self. I'm not saying like send in robots, let them replace the cops. I'm saying send in the cops with technology to avoid that kind of conflict. They send a robot out there, it gets shot, they send them a SWAT team. Like, it's not that hard. But every time they pull somebody over, they get scared and somebody gets shot. Like, that shouldn't be a thing. If you can't handle the weapon, or if the shit's too tense for you to be in that situation because you really can't tell, it's a sketchy neighborhood, it's dark, you're pulling somebody over, they're nervous, you're nervous, they grab something, you think they're grabbing something, you shoot them, they work 12-hour shifts. I feel bad in that regard. There should be another alternative answer. If I'm in a situation where I feel like I shouldn't have to get out the car and approach this person because they could potentially harm me, or I could potentially harm them because they might be on the fringe, like they might have a gun and be scared and want to get away, and I have to do my job now, I have to kill them. You know what I'm saying? It's not even a matter of choice. It's like, you made that choice for me due to circumstance. But if you could avoid that by sending some type of thing to not get murderized, that would be a good idea, I think.
I think the game is going to be interesting. I'm definitely looking forward to playing.
Yeah, it looks
because
interesting.
You know what I mean? Like, again, you're going to put yourself into the shoes of these cops, and you're going to have to...
I mean, no doubt I'm shooting every time, so... It's like it's a game, but they go die. I'm gonna say police, and they're gonna go, they get shot. Sorry, it's gonna happen. Maybe you'll get demoted in the game and have to do like community service or stand trial if you shoot somebody by accident. Maybe that'll make it real.
There's like a level in the game where they send you to like a Black Lives Matter protest.
Ah, damn. Oh, damn, man.
Is that too dark?
I mean, it might be. What is this? What's on the list? Oh yeah. You want to touch this?
Hell yeah.
Okay. Press and play.
Because it's going to lead into our NASA being fake.
All 7 crew members lost their lives. This is Judy Resnick, an engineer and pilot aboard the Challenger mission. In 2013, an eagle-eyed internet user found Judith Resnick, a law professor at Harvard Law School. Some people were a little taken aback by the identical name, age, and likeness, so they started digging. This is Michael J. Smith, also an engineer and pilot aboard the Challenger shuttle, who passed away that fateful day in 1986 at the age of 39 years old. This is Dr. Michael J. Smith, professor of engineering at the University of Wisconsin. This is Sharon Krista McAuliffe, arguably one of the most famous things about the Challenger mission. She was supposedly just a teacher that was picked at random to be one of the astronauts, which made it all the more tragic when she passed away due to the Challenger disaster in 1986. This is Sharon A. McAuliffe, also a law professor who received her degree shortly after the Challenger disaster. Dick Scobie was the commander of the mission. Here's Commander Dick Scobie next to Richard Scobie, the CEO of Cows and Trees.
That's great.
Here's his company's original logo. It's a cow, but it's not in a tree. It's strapped to a rocket, and gee, that jet stream kind of looks familiar. In fact, just in case I wasn't making it clear, the top picture is the Challenger ship shortly after exploding. So, you know, Astronauts Ronald McNair and Ellison Onizuka both passed away when the Challenger shuttle exploded. Miraculously, it was found out that they both had twin brothers, Carl McNair and Claude Onizuka. But ancestry searches were done for both Carl and Claude, and there was no birth records found. And the odds of two sets of identical twins in a crew of 7 are astronomical. But that's just a theory. Rest in peace to the crew of the Challenger space shuttle mission.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
It's very coincidental.
After the launch,
I feel like
I mean, we just talked about things being too coincidental to be a coincidence, right?
I mean, yeah, you get to a point in which things are just
Every
way
crew
too.
member?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I just don't know, because like these are those things that yeah, that person can look like that person, but it may not be that person, and that's happened before in history.
Same name, same job.
No, I mean like that's
Same
very
face.
that's very weird. But like they had Pharrell
Like,
back
they
in
didn't
the
even
20s.
try.
They had that picture of Pharrell back in the 20s. They had that picture of Brad Pitt, and he was like in the 1800s. People that looked exactly like these niggas, like to the T, and it definitely wasn't them. Or, you know, maybe it was them, and they were like vampires.
Wasn't named Pharrell in Egypt, though. I'm pretty sure he had a different name. Like these guys had the same names, like the same fucking face. They split it down the middle and put their own. Like, I mean, it gets to a point where it's like, all right, come on, fam. Like now, of course, this is new information to me. I remember the shuttle. I don't remember the shuttle blowing up. I wasn't alive, I don't think. But
Nah, it was 86.
yeah, 86. It was the year before I was born. But I remember them teaching about us in history school and stuff like that.
Yeah, I heard about it that way.
So again, I really didn't have any information on the crew or who they were. I just heard, you know, some people tried to go to space and blew up in midair. That's all I remember, right? So now to go back and now you hear this with the adult eyes that I have now, knowing the conspiracies that I've seen in real life and all this other shit. And you want to tell me that every single member of the crew member has a doppelganger in real life that has the same exact name and the same profession, the same fucking, like, it's just like, did those people really die? Especially when one of the topics that we're going to cover later on is NASA getting exposed for faking shit. Like, 1 + 1 = 2 to me. Like, I mean, I don't think that's a coincidence. You know what I mean? Like,
It's kind of sus.
now, of course, you know, it gets a little bit maybe insensitive because people saw this happen, right? So it's like a tragedy. It's like if you say 9/11 didn't happen, you'd be like, people like, what the fuck's wrong with that
I mean,
guy?
it totally happened. It's just questionable who the fuck did what.
No, of course, but I mean, imagine if you said it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Like, and the people with 9/11 like weren't really dead, but they were like still living in a like fake, like a double life somewhere. You'd be like, all right, bro, like come on, Alex Jones. You know what I mean? Like when he did the whole Sandy Hook thing and they sued him for that shit. Like, he's like, yeah, no, they crisis actors. Like, bro, you're going to court. Like,
I mean, he got sued and he lost, so like he must not have had proof back up what he fucking was saying. So,
well, even if he did though, like,
it'd be hard to sue me if I got proof. If I got proof saying that what I'm saying is true, what you're saying is bullshit, then that's why you got to be careful.
No, you do, but it's hard to be careful when the government themselves admits that they do false flag events.
I mean,
and, you know what I mean?
When you claim it, you got to be right though, or at least you got to be able to prove it.
You definitely do, definitely. You know what I mean? But like in this case, right? Like I'm not a news information, so y'all can't look at me to be a reliable source.
Not at all.
So you can't sue me, bitch. But
yeah, no, we're not that.
Like just looking at this from the surface, I would dare have to say that these people are not dead.
It's
and
definitely some sus shit. They all look like the people that were dead. So kind of strange.
It's not the first time. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure there's other people that the government's faked their deaths out there. You know what I mean? I've heard theories of Hitler still being alive. Like he had ended up moving to Argentina or something. Like got him some Brazilian puss and then moved on with life. You know what I mean? Who knows? Maybe that's what Nazis do to retire. Fucking
that or become a scientist.
Yeah, get you some Brazilian boom boom. You know what I mean?
Maybe that's why the aliens went there. Go talk to the Nazis.
That Latina box. Like, yo, that shit is out of this world. I am stopping.
Oh my god. Eins uns Brazilian pussy.
I've always wanted to go. I've been watching TikTok even more so. Fucking, there's one girl I be following. She's from Brazil. I be hearing. I don't even know what she be saying when she be talking in that language, but that ass. I was like, God is good.
Oh my god. Speaking of God, Israel bans Christianity. Taking down all the crosses. Police are there. So what is Judaism only allowed? Is that what that is? Jews only?
So do you want me to speculate?
I mean, as far as you know, as far as all the information you have on it, because I have no clue.
Well, remember I had previously told you that preaching Christianity is a crime now over there. They lock you up for it. And if you preach to a minor, then they double the sentence. So now, not only just that, but they're going around shops tearing down any signs of Christianity. So what does that tell you? Let's go around the room, and I'll go last, because
I mean, somebody's in control, and it's clearly not the Christians. So somebody's in control, but whoever's in control doesn't want them practicing.
Why would Israel not only criminalize preaching Christianity, but be taking down any relics and anything that has to do with Christianity?
It's probably because they think they're the rightful owners of Mecca. That's their shit. Nobody can fuck with it. Pretty much.
What do you think? Come on.
I don't know, Jose. I don't know. What do you want me to say?
So, what I've been talking about it every fucking podcast. Israel has their Antichrist. We talked about the Jewish dude that lit the fire and the shit came out. Remember? Fucking they said this is the Messiah. They did not acknowledge Christ as the Messiah for fucking since his death. And then some dude pops up and they said this is the Messiah, and all of a sudden they're going around criminalizing Christianity and fucking all this shit. What does that tell you?
Could be an alien.
I know, but realistically, what is that like?
Why is that not realistic if that's what you believe?
I mean, it could be an alien.
What I'm saying is what does that tell you when Israel is doing that?
There's
you want to hear that God is coming? Is that what you want to hear?
Could be a bunch of fucked up people just being dicks and claiming territory to something that nobody owns because it's land. And if they believed that God, as Christians do, they would believe that it's fair for everybody to share that piece of land. But some people think that all people think what those people think because they're in power, and that's not almost never the case. I don't think everybody wants to impress everybody. Even the Israel people, not all of them want to impress other people. It's just the way that their government runs shit. They're basically the winners of the fight because they're getting the most money and support from the United States and all the other parties to keep them in power, and they're oppressing everybody else. Not just Christians, but every other religion. It's not just one, it's all of them. They don't want none of that shit over there. They don't want to deal with the Palestinians. It's always been a problem forever, and all because people are fighting over a piece of land that if they truly believed in God like they say they did, they wouldn't be fighting over. So, like, that's my 2 cents on it. It's bullshit. That's what it is. But God's been coming for a minute. That's what I say. God's been... He needs, like, a transfer.
And therein lies the problem. Like, when you've been around as long as we have, and you've heard every Sunday service about a rapture, and the rapture, and there still ain't no fucking rapture, and niggas is still here waiting on this Antichrist, and all of a sudden, you see shit like this tells me that Israel, they picked their horse. And they got their horsemen. You know what I'm saying? Like, when we can sit here and talk about timetables, none of us will know. Because, you know what I mean, it says that no man, not even Christ himself, knows the hour nor the day, right? But clearly,
Christ is not really a man, though. Like,
they think that they know the timing of what these events are going to be, and they think that the timing's now. So,
yeah, I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like, at least
the world's kind of fucked up, so it'd be a good time.
From the outside looking in, that's what it looks like to me.
So much eggs cost, God's coming. Fucking cost of eggs is ridiculous.
The two got to do with the other. But
the price of everything is more expensive than it's ever been in our lifetime. We're getting paid the least amount that we have in the last 40, 50 years. Like, the world's going to hell in a handbasket.
Like, if you were, like, you know, trying to show an atheist proof of God, y'all wouldn't be like the price of eggs, though.
If I was trying to show an atheist proof of God, I'd be like, your existence. You're here. So someone made you, right, nigga? Like, no one else made you. Not just you. All these other weird species in the world.
My parents fucked.
Mm-hmm. And had your parents get here. It's the Russian doll problem that I tell people about. You're always going to get to something bigger than you. And something made you to be able to breathe next to this fucking tree. Did you and this tree have a relationship? Are you fucking it? Because it's giving you oxygen and you're giving it carbon dioxide. Explain that shit. Something just your parents thought that up? No. Did your parents' think that up? No. No one fucking thought that up. It just happens to be that way. You eat these things, and these things give you energy. It just happens to be that way. And those things eat things, and it just gives them energy. And it just happens to be that way. They fuck other things, and they make other things. And those things were made to live here because they couldn't live anywhere else. We can't go in the ocean because we drowned. So we had to live here. Someone had to think this shit up, right? Like, no one could just, oh, okay. They're going to go to sleep sometimes, sleep 1/3 of their life, and then wake up like Nosferatu every day, and then rinse and repeat every fucking day. They're going to consume, and the shit they consume gives them energy. And some of the shit they consume gives them cancer. They die off, and then they rinse and repeat, and they vigorous processes. They get new attributes and genes and all this stuff, and they become what they are. So, like, how the fuck could that all happen? By chance. I mean, that's really crazy chances. That's like hitting the Powerball every day for the rest of your life. That's that kind of chance that it is. Like, there's no way that something like that intricate could just be like, yeah, so I was working in my garage and...
I mean, I'm just saying, what I'm trying to say is, it's going to be hard to convince the atheists when you got dudes that make miracles.
Well, just all you got to do is tell them to go die, and then we'll see who's right.
I'm not saying
just
that.
Go ahead and die. If you don't believe, all right?
I personally
check
believe,
off now.
You know what I'm saying? Like, me personally. But, like, for the person next to me who may not believe,
they're going to hell. I know that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when they we talked about this last week when I said, yo, what do we do when the aliens get here and they start fixing shit? They start terraforming. They start, you know, repairing the things that we've destroyed, and, like, they show us.
This is the first thing right here. This is the first thing they're going to fix. All the Bud Light cans. With transgenders. Get ripped right the fuck off the can. Replace some shits with Reese's bars or some shit. Something else.
I ain't never been so anti-trans until this shit happened.
It's like it's crazy that it went on as long as it did.
Well, I mean, just think about it. To lose $5 billion.
Sorry.
Like, $5 billion is a lot of.
And I don't know if that number is true because they say that. I think they're just throwing a number out there.
I mean, I think that you can watch your stocks drop in real time and calculate about how much that would cost.
Yeah, but that's just an evaluation of what the company's worth. It's not truly what the company's worth. Not really.
But what I'm saying is, I mean,
That's
like,
just what people are paying for it. Yes.
We've seen the social media outrage on it. We see what they're saying is that a fucking 5 billion% drop. So, like, for example, right? I think the reason that I find some joy in this, right, even though I shouldn't, because it's gonna make me seem anti-trans when I'm not. I'm not anti-trans at all, but I am anti-bullshit. Fucking. The reason I like this, right, is because it feels like this is like the first time the trans people got checked.
I mean,
Like, in the sense that, like, right, ever since this whole trans ideology came out, they just kind of took over women's shit. Like, right, like they came out and they said, "Nah, we women, right?" And women was like, "I mean,
you got dicks, but yeah, sure.
all right, we can compete with y'all, right? We can swim and box with y'all because we really women, right?" And women was like, "I mean, I guess,
I mean,
like
it's undefined. It's a very undefined thing."
then like they kind of kept creeping in, right? And then like to the point where they were like, literally right now, there are fucking trans women saying, "We get periods too," and I was like, "This is fucking ridiculous."
Yeah,
but
me too.
You know what I mean? This is the state of where we're at, right?
Yeah.
So like, again, I am not anti-trans, but what I don't like is an unchecked power. You know what I'm saying? When people can just go throw this woke, you know, feelings over facts in your fucking face, and it doesn't matter how what we think, and our opinions don't matter. We're irrelevant because we're not part of that community and all this other shit. Right?
I must say though, we're talking about an aluminum can here.
No, I know. But now again, this is why I say that this matters, because this is the first time that they took over a space, right? Like the Anheuser, fucking the CEO is like, you know what? We're gonna get a trans fucking chick on the.
My thing is like the shit. The people that are against it are against trans, and when it's people are against shit when it's convenient for them. Like, hey, this is my product. Don't put that person on that. You're gonna lose my business. Mm-hmm. They don't know that the same people that run those companies have gay people that work there, trans people that work there, gay CEOs that do crazy backdoor shit that I wouldn't purchase their shit if they did this. And I'm a Christian and I wouldn't support that, knowing that those people do shit that's not right. They're associated with shit that's not right, that doesn't even line up with their beliefs. But they're like, oh no, you put this trans woman in my can, I'm not drinking it. And like, it was a limited run too. It wasn't like it wasn't like, hey, we're gonna just indefinitely keep dropping these trans editions on
trans
you.
cans.
To be trans 1 month, trans this month, trans the next month. We're gonna have a trans campaign. Like, they didn't go that ham for people to react this way. It's like, you would almost think like it'd be. Aunt Jemima was worse. Arguably, they took her off the bottle, and they were like, "Don't take her off because you're gonna strip away her heritage." And they took her off, and there was like no backlash. Like, I still buy it. It's still good.
It does seem like an overreaction. But isn't it fucking beautiful that for the first fucking time that they took over a space, it was not like, for example, right? It's about knowing your target audience, right? So like, who the fuck drinks Bud Light? Typically, like when I think of Bud Light drinkers, I'm thinking of old white guys. Like I don't drink Bud Light. It's not a personal.
They're trying to watch their weight. They're not drinking straight up.
Like I think of like old country Southern men, like, you know what I mean, like just drinking Bud Lights and fucking, you know, talking about like their days at the coal mines. You know what I mean? Like,
if they're alive still. They didn't live that long. It was old white man died because then they worked in the coal mines. Ass dead.
So knowing their audience, why the fuck would you try to put a trans to creep into there, knowing the like how those people are gonna take it? You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, right? Like, women are they're very emotional, they're very supportive. So for example, like, even though I think it's personally disrespectful that these trans women are taking the glory away from like real women who compete and dedicate their lives and their fucking their bodies to get to this championship level of competition for just some dude who was made as a man to then become a woman.
I mean,
and then
they
take
did.
the spotlight.
They did pass a federal law against it.
Yeah,
they did.
Well, okay, prior to that though,
Yeah,
you know, women allowed that. They were supportive as fuck. They were like, no, they are women too. And I was like,
until they
damn,
said
bitch,
we
like,
get periods too. They're like, oh no, bitch, you fucking lied. Fuck you. You ain't the type of woman that I am. That's crazy.
So when you see that agenda and it's pushed to kids, it's pushed to through the women's competition and all this other shit, for the first time,
touch everything but my beard, bitch.
Exactly. When you creep into a man's space, like the men, the alphas, like
I mean, some of those men are sucking trans dick on the low. They just try to be.
Maybe they could be.
Yep, they're drinking the can while they're sucking some dick.
like Trump, he said when he told DeSantis, you better chill the fuck out because I could expose you, and he was talking about DeSantis possibly being gay. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure DeSantis got some things in his closet.
Who else attacks Disney but gay men?
I mean, DeSantis is on this fucking this whole Disney shit, but like I guess like
sounds like mother issues to me. He's got mother or daddy issues. One of the two.
Probably
both.
But you know what I mean? Like I guess like for me, like this was the first time that woke culture kind of got slapped in the face a little. You know what I mean? Like,
it's just strange for me to hear it. It's because like everybody acts like the woke shit was running the world, but it wasn't. Like the other shit's running the world. The people that have that mentality about the transgender people, those are the motherfuckers that are running the world. So it's like weird when they get mad that people have a different mindset than them or push an agenda when they've been pushing agendas the entire time. It's like,
I don't think that,
dude, you're walking around with a gun and they walk around like all these straps are like, put that gun down. You don't need to have that gun. And you're like, I just got one though. Like I got one off, one ideology, one mentality, one thought process. Y'all niggas run the whole country. Like the whole country. And as soon as somebody puts like a different ideology out there, like, oh no, it can't be that way. But nigga, like, you're talking about the country being fucked up because of an idea when you're literally running the entire country off your ideas. Like, it's weird.
Yeah, but for
it's like the Israeli people, like they're saying the Palestinians, but they've been running Israel the entire time. They're causing all those conflicts. Like, it's crazy weird.
We've seen like these corporate companies though get woke. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, like
seem woke, yes, owned by the same motherfuckers that they've been owned by. So it's like they're
owned by the Weinsteins. Yes, I get that, but on a public and like pushing their agenda.
It's because it's profitable. It's the same reason why they do anything else, because it's for profit. But it's for any
forced inclusions. You have like the Disney exec that was like, yo, I'm putting gay in all the Disney.
But
shit.
They did the same shit.
You know
so there was an anti-woke bill in Florida where they said that they can't make references to slavery while teaching slavery. So they literally said, you can't say slave while teaching about slavery.
So what are you supposed to say?
Indentured servants.
No, you can't mention slavery. This is the backwards shit that I'm talking about. You can't. The same people that said we don't want you guys pushing this ideology in school systems and telling the kids to be gay or whatever, inclusive, all that. We don't want you talking about that. Don't mention slavery. How the fuck could you teach a class and not mention slavery? How can you teach about discrimination and not mention slavery? You can't.
No.
But the bill says to not do it. So it's like those same people that have an issue with people putting shit in the school that shouldn't be there. Hello, you fucking did that. You did that. So it's like you're literally saying we don't want you to push this onto our kids. You're teaching our kids that a history didn't exist. I think that's a lot worse than saying, hey, you should be a fucking girl. Not saying that it's good, because you shouldn't do that to kids, period. I don't feel like either one's right. But they're just as fucking bad to teach a whole generation of children this didn't exist, essentially. To talk about somebody sitting on the back of a bus, but you can't mention why they were sitting on the back of a bus. Like, that's fucking ridiculous. That doesn't even make any sense. And that lines up with how people think, like, these people are in control. They're always trying to whitewash history and say this never happened. We celebrate Columbus Day like that shit didn't never happen. And not just like we as like white people, even like us brown people. We shouldn't celebrate Thanksgiving. Like, they literally murdered us. Specifically us. Like Puerto Ricans, exactly like those people. They killed all those people. They took our rice. They took our fucking rice, nigga. Like, for real.
They took
our rice and they didn't even put it in Thanksgiving. They didn't even put it. They put stuffing, some other shit we would never fucking make. We made no goddamn turkeys. What Puerto Rican makes turkey?
They gave us unseasoned potato salad.
Exactly. They put relish in it.
And raisins.
Relish is not that bad. But raisins, though, that's offensive. So that's what I mean by, like, these same people that control these institutions. They control these institutions, and they're like, we're offended by this. But we're offended by you're the whole reason why society is set up the way it is, for people like yourselves to win, and for people like us to lose. And then when the people like us that are losing are like, hey, we don't like this, and that losing part goes to any minority group that's not ruling, right? The ruling party gets mad that their ideas are flowing to the top. So, like, when Obama was president, they were trying to make, I think it was Harriet Tubman, put her on the $20 bill. Remember, they're like, oh, they're going to do it. Like, they're going to do it. They're going to do it. And I'm thinking the whole time, like, no, the fuck they're not. They're never going to do it. They're never going to put no goddamn slave.
Why would you?
On a bill. They're just not going to do it because their ideology.
Find somebody else to put on the fucking someone that could be like a symbol of black excellence. Like, you couldn't put Jordan on the $20 bill or something.
Nah, but my whole thing is like, it makes sense because she freed all the slaves. It would make sense. But my whole thing is like, you guys already got the win. You feel me? You already got your fucking dead slave owners on the bills, all right? You already got your little national holidays. We already teach your fucked up curriculum. We already have to follow your systems of credit scores and social injustice, all this shit. Don't get mad about some transgender ending up on your fucking can, because you have no problem with that same transgender dick in your husband's booty hole while he's drinking Bud Light. Like, there's no problem with it. Y'all do that kind of shit. So, like, don't get mad because this nigga got put on a can. Who cares? Don't buy their beer, but it's not an outrage. Like, Kid Rock fucking shot the cans up. Like, come on, bro. Like, come on.
No, I mean, I think that there's people... But you gotta realize, right? Like, we're, like, in a divisive kind of, like, pick a side.
But why? That's what we don't... No one thinks about. Why are we deciding? Why are there sides? We want to all do good. That should be the side.
Look, I could not hate trans people, but still be against fucking this kind of like forceful, almost brainwashing of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you about.
Where that's why I say like they're almost forcing you to pick a side, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to pick sides because I think that every person has a right to be happy, and that we all deserve to be here. Like we're alive for a reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, because of that warrants equal status among everyone, regardless of whether you're rich or you're poor. Fucking, we all deserve the right to be happy. So do what you do, my nigga. But at the same time, like, in order for you to be happy, you don't have to take away from others, and that's what I feel like has been going on. Mm-hmm. It's been slow, but it's kind of like unchecked. Like, well, if you're really down with us, and if you're really an ally, you're gonna be okay with this. And people, because they don't want to
say
have
no
that in question, and be and because if you're not, you're automatically anti-trans, you're automatically transphobic, and all these labels that they just chuck at you, right?
Yeah.
So since you don't want those things, you kind of allow, you concede certain things. Maybe you really wouldn't under other circumstances. Like, for example, right? I still, like, people will still sit there and say, how can you be uncomfortable with a trans woman using a woman's bathroom when that's what she identifies as?
I mean, it's not for my comfort, it's for the woman's comfort, because she's got to go in there. I don't care if they go in the men's room and squat, piss, stand, like, I don't give a fuck. But I think that you're making someone else feel uncomfortable to make yourself comfortable is not fair to them.
And I feel bad for, like, let's say, like, I don't know what the numbers would be, but let's say like the 80% of trans people that are like mostly normal and just use the bathroom and don't do nothing wrong. Mm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it depends on what you pack. What you packing. To me, you know, that's like if you got a dick, then you should be where the dicks go. If you got a vagina, you should be where the vagina goes. Like you shouldn't be. What I'm saying is,
like, for example, like if you got a dick and you identify as a woman and you go in there and you use your little stall, you don't harass no women. You just put your little makeup on, get out, whatever you like a woman. even though I think it's wrong.
I think the reason why you have the issue with it is the same reason I would, is because there's guys that dress up
20%.
like there's guys that dress up as women to go in there to do shit to other women,
Or
and then
little
say
girls.
or little girls and say that they're transgender. But it's like I don't know, because it's like all the other people that are getting punished by that ideology that are doing the right thing by that small percentage of people that are. I don't know what the numbers are on that. Like, you know, maybe it is like 5 or 10% of the people that do that, but the other 90% are just kind of trying to go to the fucking bathroom. Like, I feel bad for them.
I don't know what the statistics are, right? But
It's
like,
just,
for example,
it's like,
let me give you.
we should have more co-op bathrooms. I don't know what the solution is for that. Like, maybe there should be more of those.
A third bathroom, like.
I mean, yeah, like they have the
a
parenting
non-binary
one. You could use the fucking parenting one, the one that's the family bathroom. You go in the family bathroom because you got dicks and vaginas in there, so it's not a problem. But I guess that's the issue. The issue truly is that people are nefarious and they do nefarious shit.
Mm-hmm.
There could be a transgender guy that has girl parts that goes in the guy's room just to stare at little boy dicks. Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
So,
like, there's no way.
I don't
So
know
there
if,
should be a third
And
option.
even for the safety of the
little boy.
the transgender people, because the females that walk into the guy's bathroom. Do you think if a guy finds out that that's actually a female in there,
Yeah, it won't matter.
yeah,
Like, there should be a non-binary bathroom.
Oh,
I
not
think
just
that'd
that,
be
but I'm
fun.
pretty sure there's a bad trans chick that, like, if forced to use the men's room, would probably get raped.
Well,
Yes,
how would you react if you walked into a bathroom and you saw two trans people going at it and they just didn't look like they should be in the position they were in because of their opposite sexes, or like the guys bent over and the girls like giving it to him with her dick and then his
it'd be fucking
vagina?
weird.
That'd be strange.
I don't want to see that. But
You walk into the non-binary bathroom, it's on set. It's just mad
they
confusing.
have a third bathroom.
Yeah, there should be a non-binary
I've seen
option.
enough cases of it.
Yeah, everybody'd be happy.
I don't know if y'all saw about what happened with the LGBT parade in Florida. So there was supposed to be an LGBT parade in Florida. It's coming up Pride Month or whatever, right? So DeSantis made a rule, a law or whatever, that said y'all could do y'all Pride Month show, y'all parade, as long as children are not part of it. The people performing y'all stuff gotta be 18 and above, as well as the attendees or something like that.
Yeah, but that's discrimination though, because
But-
other people, groups, parties do it with kids all the time. That's fucked up. Sorry, because trans
Now
people
they're
have.
doing drag shows and fucking.
Once again, it's a matter of opinion. They have fucking 12-year-olds at Ku Klux Klan rallies. Like, no. This is once again, no. Nah, nigga. If you could teach someone to hate other people because of their skin and they're cool with hanging around nooses and shooting shit, what do you have against flowers and rainbows? I don't get it. Like, it doesn't. They're not actively fucking dudes. They're dressing up as whatever.
Like since we like to personalize things sometimes. Like for example, let's say if Isaiah went to a fucking drag show and a fucking a pride parade, I wouldn't mind him being at a pride parade because I don't want him to be fucking hateful. But if some fucking trans woman were to sit there and gyrate her fucking ass on my fucking
But
nephew,
anyone would have an issue with that. In the same regard, you should have the same issue at like
So why
a
not-
Puerto
why
Rican Day
not,
parade.
Instead of restricting kids from coming, why not just restrict the content that's being shown at these?
Because they have.
want to do that at
But
the
they-
parade.
they have
And
shit-
their thing. So it's like if they concede and go, okay, well, we'll let y'all do y'all drag shows, but there can be no kids involved. You know,
I mean, I feel like I wouldn't, but like a parent.
I'm not saying it's a good thing. What I'm saying is that they would have to be the same restrictive level to all other groups.
should apply.
Seems as if he is specifically targeting those groups of people.
Okay, so now
that's
this
what
is
I have
why
an issue with.
I
I don't care.
here's where I combat that with, all right? So when DeSantis made these restrictions for the LGBT parade, they dropped the parade. They said we're not doing it, and said they just canceled the shit.
It's probably
So
because
now-
they were getting targeted, dude. Like if they did this,
on.
all right. So if you
So
did
the
if you had the
only
same restrictions with other people,
hang on.
yeah.
If the only restriction is you cannot have kids engaged in sexual debauchery at your parade,
You said that they couldn't be there. If they can't be there at all, you don't know that they're going to do that. They can even say, hey, we're not going to have this. But if they say no kids, you're literally alienating a bunch of people that in other circumstances, the kids are completely fine with being there. There are literally St. Patrick's Day parades where kids are there. Parents are getting smashed.
I've never
Disney
seen
World.
Little girls at St. Patrick's Day.
You're making a false equivalence. I'm saying adult activities are happening and children are present. It happens at fucking Bike Week. It happens at Gaia de Orange, I think, up the street. It's like there's like a fucking with Pitbull comes and shit. And there's food trucks and everybody's getting drunk and there are kids everywhere. What I'm saying is that, do you think kids being around alcohol and drunk adults is okay, but watching someone perform drag basically dressed up as a woman that's all fancy looking but is a man is worse? I'm just saying that one is groomish behavior because they're both groomish behavior. No, the kid might grow up drinking maybe, right? Fucking treating women like garbage, like literally.
I will give you that. I'll give you that. But what I don't want is a world where kids are groomed at parades, then they turn around and go to the fucking bathroom, and the same people at the parades are in the bathroom fucking whipping their dicks out and nothing on them.
I just think that you're taking it to the extreme.
I am, because
but it's not. Shown. But no, they haven't. Not to that extent. There are. Show me the stats of transgenders whipping their dicks out, coming on the ground at parade parties. We can Google it.
Parade parties.
That's what I'm saying. We're talking about parades. I'm talking about people's right to express themselves and freedoms. You shouldn't single out a specific group because they partake in an activity that would otherwise be okay for other people to do in the same exact context. You're teaching those little kids to fucking hate other brown people. You're teaching those little kids it's okay to get drunk in the daytime and spill beer and booze on people. Mardi Gras is cool. People literally go to the different state, underage, get drunk in the fucking streets there. All of that is fine. And all of that's not groomish behavior, but it is though.
And what are we teaching kids when we're saying it's okay for you to sexually gyrate with adults?
Do you do it on the Super Bowl? Are you serious? This is what I'm saying. Like, it's okay for us to pour billions of dollars and to watch the Super Bowl, watch Rihanna shake her ass, watch whoever shake their ass. Like, cool. We do commercials around it. $10 million for 30 seconds. All of this shit we show kids is fine. But let that little man dress up as a fucking female and shake with some feathers. They're not naked. It's cool for them to go to the festivals, the festivals for the islands and shit, and they're literally one pearl hair away from their pussy just popping out, smacking somebody in the face.
I wish I could grab my phone out. Like, I literally, like, I follow people on Twitter that post this stuff intentionally.
But it doesn't make it true. What I'm saying is, like, you can't say one party could do it, one party can't. If you're equally discriminative to everyone, I have no problem. Everybody has the same restrictions.
That's fine. I don't care because I don't care about the.
But you should, because we can't do this if they were discriminated. They didn't like what we were saying. They'd be like, "Fuck you, cut off." No, and that's what I have an issue with. The issue is with the specific assignment of you can't have this around my kids, because now religion is government. I don't like that. Because then somebody else, they could be in their religion. We don't want women driving anymore. We don't want kids learning this anymore. That's not, it's a fucking slippery slope, because if it's okay for Christians to do, you best believe the Catholics are going to do it. You best believe the Muslims are going to do it. And when they're in power and they're telling your kids to read the Quran, now it's not okay. You can't do that. It's not okay. Now I'm saying that restricted activities that adults do should be restricted to the activities that adults do. But if it's never been restricted in that regard before, you making specific laws to outlaw their activity, you have to do it to everybody, or you can't do it.
Again, I have no qualms about that, because I'm not okay with children being around adult activities, especially sexual activities. Mm-hmm. So for me, because it's the 80% are normal, right? The normal tax-paying citizens who go use the bathroom, and they don't be doing none of that weird shit.
Yeah.
But the 20 that do, that's the part that worries me. The 20 that go in the fucking bathrooms, because sometimes, for example, we're men. We don't know what the fuck goes on in that shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, sometimes people don't report the shit. Like, there's just so many different, like, hurdles to overcome to even be able to just, like, put this stuff out there. You know what I'm saying? That, like, I want to protect as many children as possible through our actions. Now, you can't save them all because clearly child sex trafficking still happens. Fucking the Epstein's, straight people, fucking the foster system. You know what I'm saying? There's so many fucked up things that in this world that takes advantage of children. And I will gladly admit that, yes, that shit does happen. But I just don't think that because that shit happens, we should be encouraging it on the other spectrum when sexuality is something that, like, before it was
the kids are getting if the people are getting,
you would go through internally and be like, oh yeah, no, I think I do like boys, or
if they're getting wasted outside in public, the kids shouldn't be around it, period. I think that's cool. And I think as far as sexuality goes, I don't think someone dressing up as a man is going to make me want to fuck them. Like, I just don't. Sorry, never thought of that. Maybe that helps influence it because you know what's okay and not okay. But even the people that know,
dressed up as a woman gyrated on you enough to the point where you got hard.
No, you're not. There's no auto gay, Jose. It doesn't work that way. Nobody can make me gay. Like, you can't make me gay. It doesn't matter if I was a kid. That doesn't make me gay. That doesn't make me. I'm a kid. I have no form anything. This shit's like Google.
Base memory is like.
You think that the first time my parents are gonna bring me outside is gonna be to a gay parade where somebody can gyrate on my dick and it's gonna automatically make me gay? That shit is crazy. I can't.
It doesn't
I don't think that
make you gay, bro. But it fucking opens up doors that should not be fucking open.
Who's to say? Maybe I want to be gay. Maybe it's a kid that wants to be gay. Like, you don't know.
You want to be gay, sure. An internal thing. If you internally want to be fucking
it's
gay,
arguably the same thing. I can pick up my phone, go on YouTube, and see anybody shaking their ass all day long, literally through TikTok, seeing girls
I'm not gonna
pulling titties out like this.
Like, I mean, if that's how you feel,
no, I'm just. It's facts. You know You're saying this one scenario where the kid is in front of this is not good for them. Okay, arguably, maybe right. But the 1,000 instances he's on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and people are shaking ass and titties, that's okay. Maybe that kid's gay. He doesn't want to see ass and titties all day. Maybe that should be regulated for kids too. Maybe kid regulation should happen as a whole. But I can't agree with any specific group being targeted because of that specific group. What I know for a fact, I've seen on TV, we just saw that Accused show where that person was doing a drag show. Nothing sexual happened. Like, they were singing the entire time. They didn't take no clothes off. Nothing happened. I can't say there's something that would affect my child watching that person sing. Like, I can't say that. You could clearly tell it's a man, and that's how they express themselves. After the show, they took their shit off. They're normal. So, no, I can't say that that's going to make you a sexual deviant. I could arguably say that the I don't know how to say that word, but ostracizing the people that have those activities could, in fact, make someone so curious that they do become gay. It'd be counterintuitive. Hey, I'm going to keep you away from this so much that you're going to find out when you get older, and you're going to pursue this. Or it could make someone hypersexualized the other way because they're exposed to all this other shit that no one's even thinking about. They're not protecting the kids from that. They're not, nothing. Kids are trying to fuck now because they've seen it on TV. You know, all this shit. Kids are kids. But no, I don't think any one thing can make a kid a certain way. No. I mean, it takes more than that. Then, you know, a kid's still a young adult trying to form their own opinion and mind state. I don't think that one would make them one way or the other. Seeing a trans person on a can or whatever.
I don't, but I also think that a certain push can help you. Like the fucking foster parents that we saw not too long ago were taking their kids to these parades and shit. And it turned out that they were pimping. They're both their kids.
They're pieces of shit though. That happens with both straight and gay. People give kids up all the time.
I acknowledged that a couple minutes ago. And I said, yo, that shit happens in the foster systems. That shit happens in them. Now again, I just don't think that we should just be encouraging that kind of shit. Especially, I
just don't think the two correlate. I think one is people are fucked up, and the other is people are gay and they want to be free to express themselves. I don't think that they're the same thing. People think that literally people being gay wanting to express themselves, that there's something wrong with that. I don't think there's an issue wrong with that. But I do feel like you are targeting a group of people. If you say, for instance, you can't wear Mickey Mouse ears at a Disney parade. You'd be like, what? But they had no problem wearing it at other parades. And it's never been a thing that any other group has been targeted. That's discriminatory.
Like you're targeting some people when you sit there and say, well, we're not going to have a gay parade unless you allow kids to be up here on stage fucking twerking with us.
I mean, I don't know if they said that exactly, but that's what I'm saying. Like, they probably said, like, hey, we can't have a drag show, and that's part of our cultural identity. we're not gonna have a parade, and people morphed it into whatever the fuck. Because I don't know that to be fact. I know people do take those things out of context to justify them doing certain things.
The issue was them being banned from allowing kids to participate.
Didn't we just say DeSantis is secretly gay?
I mean, it could very well be possible. But if you're sitting there saying that you're not going to have this parade now because you're not allowed to have kids with you doing this, then that kind of tells me you want kids up there doing it with you. And why do you want kids to do it?
I don't know that that's the truth, though. I didn't see it.
I mean, and this just could be me. I could be completely fucking wrong. And if I'm wrong, then you know what? I'm wrong. And I'll take that, you know what I'm saying, with me. You know what I'm saying? I can own to my mistakes. But at the same time, that's just how it looks like to me. Especially when we see it happening on all the other ends. Like in Hollywood, we see it in fucking the music industry. We see it everywhere else. So why do we, when it comes to them?
I just just saying like equality, like all around, and it makes like it's true. Like
it says anti-drag show law, not like a restriction, a law. They went to the legislature and wrote a law about kids. We can't get affordable childcare, but we can get a fucking anti-drag show law passed. Restricted to people 21 years and older. That's all it says.
Yeah. So you gotta be. I mean,
but that's what I'm saying. That's all it says. It doesn't say.
Doesn't develop until after
it says. It says DeSantis a bill that bans children from adult performances. A proposal aimed at the governor's opposition to drag shows.
You know, but look up the article about the parade. Them choosing to.
This is from CBS Miami. It says Florida gay pride parade canceled after anti-drag show law passes. That he specifically said that anyone, and no kid can be. That bans children from adult performances. A proposal aimed.
Anti-drag law makes it seem like they're not allowed to have drag shows. It's just that they're not allowed to have children at drag shows or anyone below 21. That the two aren't the same. You know what I'm saying?
So, but for instance, so it says the legislation which awaits their signature would allow the state to revoke the food and beverage licenses of businesses that admit children to adult performances. The DeSantis administration had moved to pull the liquor license of a Miami hotel that hosted a Christmas drag show, alleging children were present during lewd displays, not actively participating, it just there. But that's what I'm saying. Sounds like you're doing it intentionally to target that group. Because we have no problem with children being present during all other types of lewd activities. Literally no problem. Like never. I don't see any other law written for the Caribbean Day parades, the Haitian parades, the Puerto Rican parade. The Puerto Rican parades in New York I used to go to when I was 14. See ass and titties all day long. Ass and titties all day long. I knew if it was June, I'm going to the city and I'm seeing titties. Like off rip. There's a naked chick in Times Square. I can see her when I get off. What's the name? It's 42nd Street in Times Square. There's a naked cowboy and there's a naked like Puerto Rican girl. They're all there. But like my thing is like it's fucked up when you're passing laws specifically to single out a group because somebody could do the same thing when they become in a position of power and you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, and aren't you very against? You're very, very much for going against power because somebody that can have that much power that can. It can start with trans.
Though I don't have a problem with this because if it's written the way this is written, that means that no one can go to any event that's for people that should be adults, which I'm fine with. This is my whole argument. I'm fine with it if it's for everybody.
Yeah, and for me, I concur. I don't think kids should.
But I don't know that this is one of those things.
You know, some of the stuff that they like, for example,
because it's like
the pageant shows, like when they said that Trump was going backstage at pageant shows. Grabbing them by the pussy.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but that happened.
Yeah, but those shows perpetuate that kind of shit. They're like, hey, let me pretty up this girl so I can, get her to be liked by everybody.
My thing I know that is clearly wrong, and I'm saying that. But my thing isn't. Well, let's just give them the same equal access to do it, just so that it's an even playing field. And no, that's wrong, and. This is wrong too, you know what I'm saying? Like now, of course, I'm completely against discrimination. again, I'm not anti-trans, and I don't want people, and I know people are gonna take it that way, but I'm really not. If it makes you feel better, I'll fuck to one of y'all.
You just you want the kids to be safe, and I get that, but I feel like the kids are not safe even when these things are banned. Kids are still getting touched by their family members. Kids are still getting touched by the teachers. It ain't got shit to do with no goddamn drag show. If anything, one of them might come out the closet quicker. That's what I think would happen. I don't think it would make them gay.
But DeSantis also passed a law where fucking if you're a fucking child rapist, you get the automatic death penalty.
I don't know. I just feel like he's towing the line. Why can't we be this effective with equal pay? Like, why are we so? That's my intentions are. If I gave somebody a bunch of money and I said run shit how you want to run it, and then they started doing shit like this, I'd be like, yo, what are your intentions, my guy? Because you're supposed to be taking care of all of us, making sure that we were taken care of, that we get paid what we need to get paid, that we have the services provided. Why is your focus so much on gays? Like, why are you so focused on Disney, gay people? What about my pocket, though? What about my taxes, though? Why my insurance so goddamn much?
Why don't you do something about the homeless kids?
Why don't we take care of the education? You know how much teachers are getting paid? That's a fucking travesty. Like, that's ridiculous. And let's focus on that shit so that we don't have to worry about the other shit.
And even the CRT shit, I completely disagree with.
That shit is ridiculous,
there are a lot of things that I disagree with DeSantis on. But there are just a couple that we do find some medium ground.
I think at the core of it, it's the core of it. People want what that is, but it just, for me, it feels like his sole purpose and focus is to be anti-woke. He's not getting anything done that's realistically going to benefit anybody in a few years. Like, it's not going to...
I think this is all for the presidential run.
Of course, like, but I don't want some Ponzi for the president running the goddamn state. Like, hey, I'm going to do what I feel like I'm doing. Like, no.
I feel like he saw what worked for Trump. He saw that he got a rabid fan base out of these fucking far-right guys and was like, oh, word, I can get the presidency with the far-right guys? What are y'all for? Whatever y'all for, I'm going to the extremes with it because I know that y'all gonna see me as one of y'all and y'all gonna put me up there with Trump. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's really what it boils down to. I think DeSantis probably sucks dick and snorts coke and fucking fucks kids.
And drag shows. Drag shows. I don't want those kids seeing me sucking dick and sniffing coke.
Like, Trump had alluded to something about him being possibly caught up in some underage shit.
Trump always fucking, he's bad. He's a shade thrower. He be throwing shades at niggas.
Because imagine, I mean, if you got the CIA, the Secret Service, you probably were keeping an eye on your enemies while you were in office.
I mean, you know.
What I mean? Like, you know who's running up, who the players are. So you probably kept an eye on these motherfuckers. But, like, again, for me, like, I'm not trying to be insensitive. I'm really not trying to be hypocritical. I'm really... Because I have no right to be. It's just, like, I know that there are people out there that we cannot defend. Like little girls in bathrooms because it's a girl's bathroom. You know what I'm saying? And I just hope that, like, we can have a logical conversation and come to... We can... a compromise.
I think that they should be separate. We should protect kids, and that should be an initiative. And we should protect individuals' rights to express themselves, and that should be an initiative. Other than that, you shouldn't target people because it could happen in reverse. So it's like, if you have an ideology and you think it's boss, cool, you do that for you. But it shouldn't be a law that affects everyone because ultimately, not everyone believes in what you believe in. But we all universally believe in certain things. Kids should be protected. Rights should be protected. People should be able to express what the fuck they want. And that should be the focus, but I feel like these groups, their policies focus on division and what makes us different instead of what makes us the same, and that's the fucked up thing. Yeah. So the same way that I could equate this performance, you know, not being cool for kids, cool, but the same way it's not cool for kids at Bike Week, the same way it's not cool for kids at Mardi Gras, the same thing applies, but we don't see those. We don't see the Universal kicking all the kids out after 4 when Mardi Gras starts. Like, we don't see that shit. We don't see it on the beaches, you know, the nude beaches. So you're allowed to have, like, nudity. You're not supposed to have kids, but no one's out there checking IDs. Like, there's places where kids can be taken advantage of, and I wish they put more emphasis on protecting them there, and they just don't. You know what I'm saying? And that's the fucked up part. They don't put the energy there. Like, I don't get why not. Like, I get why it's controversial and why it would get people to vote for you because you're like, hey, I'm fighting the fight. But if the fight is just to satiate your feelings and not actually fix anything, like, you shouldn't be in office. I hate the people like that in office because they don't do anything. They just I
don't think he's gonna make it. He got recently exposed about his role in torturing some Guantanamo Bay detainees. Yeah, apparently.
How you gonna green pass to that? Like, let me get a bus pass for that.
Yeah, apparently, like,
coach a couple niggas.
He was present for it. Some of the detainees recognized him like years later, and they were like, "Yo, weren't you that guy that was giving the orders for me to blah 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 and this to happen?" So yeah,
that's
now
weird.
DeSantis is denying it. You know, any involvement in that, but like, I think all this shit going on is Trump, like, because Trump, I think is definitely trying to rerun for 2024, and he's like, Biden, that's an easy walkover. You know what I'm saying? That's a corpse. So it's like, who's really gonna? You gotta watch out for the Republican Party now, because they're the only opposition between you and the presidency again. Who's big in the Republican Party? Nobody but DeSantis, really. Like Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, but he's a fossil.
What's that one dude? I forget his name. He's a politician's kid. Damn. But he's from Kentucky, I want to say. Damn. But the Republican Party, they don't really have any hitters.
McCarthy. Is that McCarthy?
Nah.
No. I think he's a Democrat. I'm not sure.
In DeSantis, he just started, like, not that long ago, getting that momentum. So, like, I think it's Trump just, like, seeing his moves and in real life just checkmating him. Like, oh, I seen you got all that hype from trying to fuck with them gays. Let me just one up you, baby. Like,
You did it though.
Yeah. Pastor mad as fuck after girl won't fall during prayer. What?
That's why I don't like going to church for forcing that shit on you.
Pray for you and lock your knees. Go sit down if you don't want me to pray for you. Wait a minute, lock your knees. You pray for somebody and lock your knees. What you come up here for?
Is that a black church?
You don't come to receive, don't come.
You don't come to receive, don't come.
I ain't making you get nothing.
He's wearing live green pants. He always kill me with that. That's hilarious.
so, okay,
What?
the floor is yours.
Yeah, nigga, that's why I don't go to church. I remember when God White used to do that shit. Man, like force the Lord in you, man, my nigga. And to me, I feel like that's blasphemous. Like to pretend, cause to me it's pretending. If God is gonna
You push me down, I'm getting back up.
if God is gonna wash over me where something like this were to happen, like you don't need to push me. It just you don't even need to touch me. That shit will just happen. Like to me, that's blasphemous. Like to pretend that no. And they do that shit all the time.
Well, I mean, you know, they do definitely a lot when it's like a televangelist, like recording like their shit, because, you know what I mean, they're trying to put on a show. But it's like, it starts, I don't know, I guess like, because the church that we had been raised up in was so strict and so, I don't know, meticulous about their doctrine and how and their professionalism when it comes to, like, you know, taking the microphone and all that, you know what I mean, being up there singing, preaching, all that stuff, that, like, you know, I didn't see a lot of like that showmanship like in some of the preachers that came through our church and stuff like that. But I know that, like, definitely I saw a lot of that where you know, you would see like the big preachers come into town and they just wanted to just, like, you know, just flex and like be like, oh no, who's coming up here for prayer, and just like just drop bodies, like bodies.
And again, I feel like I've seen it happen to where, like, I feel like it's legit, but like I feel like, again, you shouldn't need to touch me.
I've never felt that, like, where somebody, I mean, I've felt, I've had a feeling come over me while people prayed, but I've never had the feeling of like, I just want to, you know what I mean, like, that just never came, like, you know what I mean, but I know, like, I've seen, you know,
It'd be so awkward. It'd be like when you fall, when do you get up? Do you count 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi,
Well,
and
like,
then get up? Or
even like I remember, and please God, please do not take this as blasphemy. I do not mean it as such. But like when people would be catching like the Holy Spirit, you know, like Tita, for example. Like I remember one time we was in, I think Philly or something, and she caught the Holy Spirit, and she just started like swinging her arms around, like her elbows and stuff. And I was just like, yo, God, like you got the control right, because like you see I'm here, so if you're gonna control her, like make sure that elbow don't catch me, you know, with a stray one. But then like I would start wondering, like, do people like get like the Holy Spirit and like do they just like ride it out, like where like is there like a part where it ends and then they just keep going just to like
nah, I don't
or
think so.
I don't know, because I mean I never felt that, you know what I'm saying? So like because I've never like that was one thing I was always envious of too, like since I never had that experience, I never felt that, I never understood exactly like how, like, you know, like what does that feel like? Do you just feel like you lost consciousness and then you just like wake up and you're just yourself again? Like how does
I feel
that?
like it's like a kind of your like co-pilot. I don't think you lose consciousness. It's like a co-pilot, like you, or like when you say you astral project, when you're kind of like it's sort of something like that.
Kind of like out of body experience.
Yeah, I mean you're still there, you're still present, but it's.
But I remember the lock knees part hit me funny because I remember when I was in the Navy, right? They used to have like retirement ceremonies, and that would last like 2-3 hours sometimes, right? And they would tell us like, yo, don't lock your knees, because we would be standing at attention. Like the officers would be sitting down in chairs and we'd be standing at attention at parade rest, right? And they'd be like, yo, don't lock your knees, because if you lock your knees, yo, you're gonna pass out. And you would see that shit sometimes. You'd be like sitting there, dude next to you would just fucking drop, like he just got the COVID vax, like he just whoop, out. And I'd be like, damn, like, you know, he locked his knees. I'm like, my knees start getting a little wobbly. You start like questioning this shit. Like, am I locking my knees right now? Like, is the blood going good? Like, but you can't move, you know what I'm saying? So you just said like trying to like move a little, but shorty, she probably was just trying to lock her knees because she probably knew that push was coming. So she was like, let me, like, in case like the spirit comes over me, you know what I'm saying? I'm locked in on the earth, you know what I'm saying? Like I ain't going nowhere. And the pastor was like, lock knees, like, bitch, that's blasphemy. Get the fuck out of here, like. Me coming up to my altar with some locked knees, like.
Not ready to receive this blessing.
I want some loose knees for Jesus, like.
Oh man, speaking of blasphemy, this, which is kind of crazy. Very good to play.
Why you shut your pussy and not the ass?
Not that. I'm not even in that goddamn section. That's what it's like. I'm literally looking at a different video
Potential
entirely.
fraud on an enormous scale happening in York County. There's now clear evidence of NASA using numerous methods to grossly mislead the public about astronauts being on the International Space Station. During interior ISS scenes from NASA's own live feed, the use of wires, harnesses, green screens, and virtual reality have been detected to achieve the appearance of a weightless environment. Examples of this include astronauts fading in and out of the screen, green screen glitches, grabbing objects that aren't really there, pulling on invisible wires, getting tangled in their harnesses, and even astronauts appearing out of thin air. This begs the obvious question. If they're really up there, why are they using Hollywood techniques to fake the footage? Now, unfortunately, I can't show you these clips in here today, but I will be sending them to you. Outside the International Space Station, during spacewalks, air bubbles have been recorded on numerous occasions. How is it possible for air bubbles to be present in the vacuum of space? I once questioned astronaut Scott Kelly about this phenomenon. His body language and answers only created more questions. In 2013, astronaut Luca Parmitano nearly drowned during a spacewalk when his helmet filled with water. This happened again just last year. Air bubbles, helmets filling with water, and drowning. Are they in space or are they underwater? Now what's really interesting is that they train for spacewalks in an underwater pool with a complete ISS replica. Now surely they aren't filming these spacewalks in an underwater pool and then editing them to appear if they're in space. Because that sure would be something, wouldn't it? I'm calling on the Brevard County Commissioners to open a full investigation into NASA's fraudulent practices and use of taxpayer dollars. It costs NASA $3 billion per year to operate the ISS, and if they don't have a darn good explanation as to why they're faking these videos, I and the public would like a darn good explanation as to where our tax money is going. And if they are indeed faking the funk, it is our duty to expose and eliminate this fraudulent and astronomically wasteful ISS program. And look, I know what you're all thinking. NASA is part of the federal government, and you're just county commissioners. Even if what I'm saying is true, what can you do? But let me remind you, not only is this happening in your county, as public officials, you have the platform and the ability to make a statement or hold a press conference, alerting the public, state, and federal authorities to investigate further. You have the power to start the conversation. Video evidence of everything I described today will be emailed to you all, and I truly hope we can get to the bottom of this. I look forward to the day that $3 billion annual budget is put towards our veterans, our homeless, maybe some of that mental health stuff the young lady just spoke about, and the revitalization of Brevard County. Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Damn.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. CGI has come a long way.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, they're making a bunch of money off of us.
So, you guys ever hear of the director, I want to say it's Stanley Kubrick?
Mm-hmm.
He's the guy that made, what was that movie with, fucking, Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman? Fucking, he made this, like, really dark movie between, but anyways, that guy, after he dropped that movie with Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise, on his deathbed, he said that that he had previously done a movie in the past that no one would believe that he had done, and essentially he alluded to the fact that he was a director for the moon landing.
Eyes wide shut.
Eyes Wide Shut, yeah. He alluded to the fact that he was the one that faked the moon landing essentially, and reported it for the government. This has been something that's, I mean, going back to the inception of the moon launches. You know, they've been faking it. Anytime any of the astronauts are pressed with questions about what's up there, or it being fake, they get pretty agitated, and like Neil Armstrong, I want to say, punched a couple people over that shit.
Like a reporter or some shit.
So anytime they get really defensive. We see like all the glitches and bloopers online on YouTube. I mean, people have been literally somebody even put a side-by-side comparison of this island and Mars, the NASA picture from Mars, and they look exactly like just a red tint over it. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I think at this point it's fair to say that we know that NASA is faking some of their shit. To what extent, no one fucking knows, because to even be in NASA, the top secret clearances that you have to even access that kind of information, I mean, it's beyond top secret. So people like us would never know, you know what I mean? And you could fake it so well because we watch movies every day on fucking Netflix and fucking Hulu that look real as shit, and it looks like somebody really got shot in the head. It looks like a UFO really did crash, and it looks, you know what I mean? So
look at Avatar. That whole movie was made in it wasn't even outside. It was like a whole CGI. Yeah. So like that entire movie. So it wouldn't.
Don't surprise me.
I mean, we were talking off cam about the artificial intelligence. You know how you could do deep fakes now, make people look like they're. I mean, the things that we can do now, I mean, technologically wise, we can make anything look realistic. So, let alone a corporation that is getting billions upon billions of dollars annually and is federally funded and protected, they probably got some good ass movies. So, you know what I mean? Not that it matters, but the only thing that it does matter.
It does matter if it's money that's coming from us.
Of course it matters, but I mean, it doesn't matter in the sense that it's not going to stop, because we can't stop the government with anything that they fucking do. But what it does matter in is that it calls into question anything that we know about space, because NASA is the one who tells us everything about space. Fucking Earth is so far away from this place and light years away from this place, and you know, we're gonna go to Mars in 2024 and start colonizing, and everything that they're trying to tell us, you have to kind of start looking at it through a different lens with doubt. You know what I mean? Like if hypothetically, you know, like for example, you know, NASA has had, you know, 13 moon landing missions or some shit like that. Like,
13 or 14. Oh,
yeah, right. But then like a couple years, like back in like 2000s, one of their directors says, hey, you know, the reason we haven't gone back to the moon is because we can't figure out how to get out of low Earth orbit or some shit like that. That there's a radiation field that
around us.
Yeah, and I'm like, so you can't do it now, but you could do it back in the 70s with inferior technology. Not just that, but you could broadcast live a fucking. You're on the moon. Like, I can't get good cell phone reception when I'm at work, but you're on the moon broadcasting to Texas. Fucking that. This is before Instagram Live. You know what I'm saying? Like, so what are we saying?
Shit ain't adding up.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a little weird. Very weird.
The moon is like what, 82,000 miles away or some shit.
I mean, who knows? Things.
How good are these phones and cameras? And
Radiation might have not been there at the
this
time.
is before the internet. Like there wasn't even the cables, the fiber optic cables, to get to transmit the data. Like,
I don't know. I'm stumped. I have no idea.
So what the fuck are we saying here?
I don't know.
Like, I don't know.
It's
man.
not real or all fucked. It doesn't. It sucks.
At this point, we just gotta just have our hand out and be like, nah, man. Like y'all owe us. Like, we are broke for no reason.
For real.
Our country is in fucking shambles, and y'all is just faking all this.
Faking everything.
Like, why are there starving kids out there when y'all faking moon landings? Like, even the Challenger crew, like, they faked their death and they live in good lives right now. Like,
No, what's that word? What's that word? Well, we don't know, but there's a word that they use. It's a legal term.
Allegedly.
We gotta clarify that.
No, yeah, allegedly. The Challenger crew died, and allegedly there's just doppelgangers that look exactly like them. With the same
Allegedly.
names.
No, they're allegedly alive. What you gotta say?
But, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's all this fake shit going on. So if, like, why do they have to fake it? You know what I'm saying?
Maybe they got to fake it for the aliens so they think we're more advanced than we are.
What if NASA has been grooming us this whole fucking time for whatever their nefarious plans are? Whether it was to get us to start looking into space or what questioning shit, start making us think that just everything was just endless, so life was inconsequential. Who the fuck knows what the plan was? But clearly there was some grooming here. Like, they were priming us for something and wasting money just that we could have used fucking to help make this place a better place. Like, can you imagine, like, for example, like, you know how in the Jetsons, how they got like the fucking futuristic bubble size flying cars, and like Nikola Tesla was talking about this shit back in like the 60s, and that his ass died. They took his technology, and we still running on gasoline for $4 a gallon now, like, because of this fucking Ukraine shit. And it's just like, yo, like, we could have been flying around on hoverboards and fucking spaceships, and
Remember that show, The Jetsons?
we still fucking driving lemons, paying fucking $4 a gallon, like some ghetto bitches. While that's what I'm saying, when the aliens come, yo, we're gonna be so fucking ghetto compared to them. But anyways, yo, like, I think that was the last topic, game.
So.
The Tucker Carlson shit. But you know what? Enough people talked about it. I mean, he's gonna be doing enough talking now that he got fired.
Got his own platform.
Got his own platform. And all that shit. Anyways, I think that's a good place to call this episode. Fucking, you know, we're gonna get the hang of it. You know, the whole freestyling aspect, and as you can see, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we can dig out of our old crates. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, we're just gonna continue trying to evolve and make this show better for y'all, and the best quality content that we can produce. Forgive any what may seem as any trans comments that came from my end. This is the cleanup in aisle 5. Fucking, but I'm just as a victim of childhood trauma, I'm definitely passionate about protecting children from that kind of shit. So, anything else? Any last closing remarks from the gang?
Why you shave your pussy, not your asshole? Harry Potter. Oh,
Come on, y'all gotta do better. Get the full wax.
You gotta get both sides.
Nobody want a half shaved yard. Like, dude,
How is that a half shaved yard?
like you gonna shave the backyard but not the front yard, like,
Wasn't it the other way
or
around?
the front yard but not the backyard. Just you do both. All right. you pay the Asian girls to get both of them.
Harry Potter.
But you got anything for us, Kat?
Nah.
Alright. So I think that's gonna be it. New Highly Offensive episode 14. We will catch y'all in a couple days. Wish me luck with
Oh wait, we still.
what I'm gonna be good on with my interview on Thursday, and all glory be to the Most High. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully I can do better next time. Highly offensive.
Episode 14.
New highly offensive.
Peace.